Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Every day I'm hustling.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are...
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day
You
I'm
fight with
hustling.
nobody.
This a dollar beat. This a dollar beat.
BoxingWords.com.
You won the belt with nobody.
BoxingWords.com.
This a dollar beat.
You never gonna get the fight, man. You're a horrible fighter. Payday,
BoxingWords.com.
payday. You want payday. I know that. Oh, look this guy. There's a plan to go for the belt, and I'm coming, man. I'm coming, my friend. Get the fuck out of here, man. Please get the fuck out of here, man.
BoxingWords.com.
Because I'm gonna fuck you out right now, motherfucker.
BoxingWords.com.
Good morning, TBV. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another morning edition with the Boxing Voice Radio, and what's going to end up being a interesting morning show. I'm metaphorically patting myself on the back. Actually, let's literally do it. Yep, if you heard that, that's me patting my own back. Because I wasn't 100% right, but I was right enough. I said that Canelo should fight Rivas, the Bridgerweight, and I guess he figured, Ilunga Makabu is more established. He has been a champion in the Cruiserweight division for some time. He did lose to Tony Bellew and then came back and won that WBC title, making him a two-time champ. So maybe that's why he chose Makabu, or maybe they're picking Makabu first to get ready for Bridgerweight to conquer a sixth world title. But this is what we're talking. Is Canelo chasing greatness? Canelo versus Makabu for the WBC Cruiserweight Championship in Cinco de Mayo. Eddy Reynoso, the trainer and manager of Canelo Alvarez, was present at the WBC convention yesterday when he took to the podium and the microphone and let the president and everyone in attendance know that he was petitioning for Canelo to challenge champion Makabu. And I think I'm blown away. And I believe that there's a lot of people blown away. But there's still some resistance to crown the king as the face of boxing. Canelo's still being called a cherry picker somehow because he's moving up two more divisions to challenge a cruiserweight. They're saying he's ducking Charlos and Benavidez. And, man, it's just sad where boxing is, that a guy, can try to do what his idol's done in Roy Jones, mimicking the people before him, and he's being called the cherry picker. Not the guys that haven't fought anyone, that should be fighting each other, to be honest. But, Adrian, what's going on? Watertown, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, some weird Indian name, Havisham, what is it called? Alawakanach or something like that.
Oconomowoc?
Oconomowoc. What's going on?
Yeah. We with the Indian shit out here. But yeah, man, it's an excellent morning. I've actually been watching a lot of footage of Makabu last night, yet this morning, because I found it interesting that he's moving to cruiserweight. He skipped past light heavyweight, went straight to cruiserweight. Like you said, Ness, you said he would go to Bridgerweight, but like I see it seems like they're taking a slower route up there. So I think I don't think it's a bad fight. I mean, you can't really be mad at the dude. He is going after a titleist. As we break this down and unpack it, I'll let you know my thoughts about Makabu. I've been really trying to watch his fights, just not the highlights, but actually watching his full fights to see what his style is, what he brings to the table, to see how good of a fighter he really is, to determine whether or not people who are trying to call Canelo a cherry picker, if they're right. Maybe if they see something like Mikey saw something. But I still think it's a good thing to try to go for a title in another weight class. The only thing I'd say is he should come back down to 168 at some point and fight some of those other guys that we mentioned.
Wow. It's Crawford week, so I'm going to show this. I can't believe how big Josh Taylor is compared to Crawford. Lord of mercy.
He's that much bigger?
Bro, if Crawford beats Porter, I don't know. He's big, bro. I didn't know. That's insane. How's he making fucking 140, bro?
How tall is he?
Bro, look at the screen. I'm screen sharing. How is he doing this? He's just made Crawford look like he's the fucking 135-pounder. Forget 140.
Damn, bro. You ain't lying, bro. He made Crawford look little.
Wow.
But, I mean, it depends where your weight is. He must not have no weight in his legs.
Lord have mercy. But, I mean, he doesn't even look, I don't know. Wow.
I mean, you can squeeze talking to a lot of fighters who've, dropped a lot of weight, they say you can squeeze a lot of water out of muscles, bro.
Yeah, but how do those muscles function? You're squeezing all this water out. How do they even function when you get back? Like, the fact that he's dropping all that weight and he's able to compete at that weight fair and well. I mean, he just looks so much bigger than Crawford. It must be a real struggle.
Look at EJ, though. EJ walking around at, what do you say, 180, 190? And then cutting down to 147.
But bro,
I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of weight.
He looks like he's EJ right there. That's how big he looks. It reminds me of the meeting when him and Crawford met. That's how big he is. His Lord. He's big. He's big. Listen, but that's just more evidence of what's going on here. That means Taylor can move up. People need to be more like Canelo. And less like themselves. Let's just be real.
But is it a bad thing to want to rule at one weight class your whole career?
It's not. But are you ruling? Who's ruling?
I'm not saying anyone is now, but I know.
I'm just painting it out for the fight fans. I want them to realize that Bivol is not ruling. He hasn't been the man in any division. And Bivol isn't the man in any division. Yeah, he holds 2 belts. Yeah, he's the only one to unify, but I don't know that he's considered universally the man at 175. Maybe he's the man to beat. Who the fuck has Charlo been beating? Who the hell has Benavidez been beating?
I mean, but look at a guy like we consider Crawford in the top 3 pound for pound. I mean, could he have stayed at 140 and just ruled that division and killed everybody who came up? But instead he went to be for greater pastures and went up to 147.
He could have. He could have stood there, but this generation, look, how many males undisputed in the last 5 years? So this generation is motivated to become undisputed. Crawford could have absolutely stood at 140 and had some great fights. Fights with him and Ramirez, him and Taylor, him and Regis. Maybe those would have made him a bigger name, than what he is now. But nevertheless, the money division is the welterweight division, and I believe that's why he moved up. He moved up because it's the more lucrative division. It's the division that obviously, lines your pockets. But we got a few super chats. Hi, and Sports Centrum says, the boxing voice, the rise of the net. The boxing voice is more, and the boxing voice is made. And these were 3 super chats on an uploaded Bill Haney interview that we did, and I just want to give him his love.
Shout out to that guy. He's always super chatting.
Even though the show wasn't live, he's still super chatted, so I wanted to give him his respect. Jesse Quesada says, Nello versus Makabu forces David Benavidez and Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, Gennady Golovkin, Dimitri Bivol, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, and Archer Beterbiev to fight each other. Al Espinoza are now forced to make Benavidez versus Charlo next. Thoughts? Yeah, I don't know that it's forced, especially when Samson Lewickovic, the great promoter that he is, he doesn't sit on his hands like a lot of these other promoters. They may be bigger, they may have television deals, but Samson gets the job done. He was present at the WBC convention, and the minute that, and he actually went to the convention to petition to have the mandatory call for David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez at 168. But Eddie was first to the podium. Reynoso said what he said, and his request was approved to fight Makabu. So David Benavidez's request via Samson Lewickovic was approved to fight for the interim title, which means, in theory, when Canelo comes back, Benavidez would have a crack at him. And if Canelo doesn't come back, title automatically goes to Benavidez. So, shout out to Samson. Didn't sit on his hands. He went out there and made things happen for his fighter. I highly doubt anyone was at the convention for Jamal Charlo, who could have easily petitioned as the WBC champion to face the champion at 68. I'm sure no one was there for Jamal Charlo petitioning to fight the WBC champion at 175 or the WBC champion at 200 or Bridgerweight or even 68, or even 54. Like, he's not trying to go down and fight his brother. Like, he's not doing anything at all. So let's just be clear of that. He's not doing anything at all. And Andrade is fighting Quigley. Now, Andrade, every time I hear him talk, I feel like he needs to be given a pass. It really isn't his fault. Out of all the people, is it really Andrade's fault? Now, obviously we can pick sides and say yes because he chose to get out of a contract that was already set up for him to face one of the Charlos early in his career. But, is he responsible?
I mean, let's be real. So he made a decision earlier in his career. Maybe he didn't even personally make the decision. I don't think it should be held against him now. I mean, if we consider that to be a good fight as fans, we should still be able to get that fight. I mean, all that saltiness, I've heard them come on here, the trainers come on here, and, just fight. Okay, it didn't happen when it was supposed to happen. That's a lot of boxing. Come on, bro. That's boxing, period. Fights not happening when you think they should happen. I mean, right now is the time to do that, and that can prove a lot of things for both those fighters. Doesn't make sense that they're not going to do that.
Warren Williams, I was saying it sarcastically. I don't want him to fight Jamel, but we do want him to do something. We do want him to do something, but I think that we need to hear this first from Demetrius Andrade.
Why did the Yurdom kid get the opportunity? Why did Callum Smith get the opportunity? Why did Rocky Fielding get the opportunity? Why did anybody, all these other people get the opportunity? What's the difference between them and myself? What did they do to get it? And if the answer is, that they are a champion, I've been that in 2 weight classes. So what's really, what's I don't know. Like, what else is there to say other than, at the end of the day, it's going to be a real fight. You want me to talk about Charlo? You want me to talk about Triple G? You want me to talk about why Triple G not wanting to make the fight? You want to go all the way to Japan to fight Murata for what? How is that? What excitement does that bring to boxing when you have Demetrius Andrade? Charlo, what excitement does that bring to boxing when you have Demetrius Andrade? Canelo, what excitement does that have when you have Demetrius Andrade, don't mention Jaime Munguia because he's been my mandatory for 10 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he wants to fight, we can make the fight happen. He's my mandatory. He passed it and said, no. Not me. I don't have the luxury to say, oh, I'm not fighting him. I don't have the luxury to say, pick him. I don't have that luxury. So at the end of the day, that's why we fighting Jason Quigley, because I don't have the luxury. You think I'm like, I didn't pick him. No, this is somebody that's willing to fight me. So we're going to fight. Who you just mentioned? Who else? Billy Joe. I mean, listen, I tried to fight him off a year layoff. What he do? He gets popped for taking drugs. And then I tried to fight him again. He didn't want it. He went up to 168. And then I tried to do it again before the Canelo thing happened and be like, yo, Billy Joe doesn't deserve that. I mean, don't mention Jaime Munguia because he's been my mandatory for 10 years. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So that was it. Hopefully they don't flag us because we definitely gave a lot of their very good content away. It didn't get many views, which sucks. It's got 2,686 likes, and that's what it had yesterday, honestly, when I seen this, or actually this morning. My bad. And, it's not like he's not speaking facts. It's not like he's not speaking facts. Maybe about Callum, he can't say what did Callum do. Callum, I don't care what anybody says. We could argue till I'm blue. They can try and hate on Callum, and there's some weird bias. But Callum joined the tournament just like Andre Ward, just like, Brandon Adams. Many people that join tournaments, man, Willie Monroe, you got to give these guys credits for going through the gauntlet, whoever's in that gauntlet, and coming out the victor, trying to discredit him after a tournament of his peers where he proves he's the best out of those people. It's kind of unfair. So that being said, he went through that little tournament. But look, I don't know. Andre needs to do something. I know he don't got the luxury, and I hear everything that he's saying. I feel for him, but he's in a very rare situation where. Because he's not Hagler-like either. It's not like he's this Hagler type of dude that when the history books close on him, he'll be remembered as this feared fighter who was a devastating puncher. But, he doesn't bring that to the table. There's not writers out here calling him the most feared fighter. That's not his MO. They don't have him as the most feared, maybe most avoided, not feared. And I think that's why he's not getting these fights, because Gennady was the most feared middleweight. There was a reason people were afraid, and the marketing behind that was, let's say it's because of the power. There isn't any of that for Andrade. And it's unfortunate, he's got to hope that he just keeps doing well and never slips up, because that's when they're really going to give the excuse that he doesn't deserve. If a Quigley type, if he gets hands put on him by Quigley, he's going to be in trouble. The last thing he wants is a rematch with Quigley. That would ruin everything. His legacy would be really tarnished, because for Quigley, Crawford said he's in a lose-lose. Shit, Andrade's in a lose-lose. He can't lose to Quigley, and he can't let Quigley look good. That's not the same level as Porter Crawford. He's got to separate himself. But I did want to highlight that little bit, because, I was going to repost it on our IG and everything, because it's like, damn, God bless his heart, he only got 2,000 views on that shit. What's going on? Matchroom need to pay for some Google ads on that shit. Push it. You could pay for boost this post, let Instagram and Facebook push that through more boxing fans. They need to, build the rally behind him the way that there was a rally behind Triple G. Remember, Triple G had dudes out here wearing Mexicans for Triple G shirts. Give me my belt shirts. Gennady Golovkin with a Mexican hat and 2 guns as a cowboy. Like, bruh, he got to get the people behind him, man. But that was my daily Demetrius Andrade, wishing on a star. We're praying for you news. And back to our regularly scheduled program. I never thought that we would be here, honestly. Like I said, that I think Canelo could beat Artur Beterbiev and Oscar Rivas. And I didn't know that combination would lead to a Makabu. But you got to give Eddy Reynoso credit. I know a lot of people want to call this cherry picking. And that's because you just don't know the sport. You've never been in the ring, and if you have been in the ring, you've never been on that high level, so you just talking to be talking. But it is a strategic pick. This dude did lose to Tony Bellew. Now, what we got to understand is that Tony Bellew at least was a natural light heavyweight before he moved up the cruiser. Bellew was knocked out by Adonis Stevenson when he was the terror. Now, and that's another thing that you got to give Bellew credit, because I see people saying, man, this dude lost to Bellew, as if Bellew's some bum. Bellew showed us he's no bum. He showed us the exact opposite of that by coming back from a knockout loss and being able to become a champion. And then after that, moving up the heavyweight himself and getting 2 wins over David Haye. Like, you'll never tell your grandchildren you did that. So before you call in and before you chat, man, just like respect what people are doing, because it's not like we can do it. You know what I mean? As much as you want to call Tony Bellew a bum, my man is probably a 2-time champ, and he beat a pretty known heavyweight twice. And got the win over Makabu, that win is gonna look better now when Canelo beats Makabu. And Makabu is a 2-time champion. Like, he's not some slouch. So it's just crazy to me that people hate that Canelo really chases greatness. They hate that their favorite fighter does absolutely nothing but sit around and wait. So they're so frustrated with their favorite fighter that they're taking that out on this poor guy who's really just bringing more excitement to boxing. I mean, I got the audio, and I want you to just hear the audio. I know you won't understand it as you're a fake Hispanic, but that's okay. And by fake, I mean not real, because people might think I mean fake because you are Spanish but don't know Spanish. I'm meaning he looks like a Spanish guy that's not a Spanish guy, so he can't understand what we're about to play, but we'll play it anyway and listen to the audience.
Y ahora estoy aquí para levantar la voz y pedirle aquí al Consejo Mundial de Boxeo la siguiente pelea para Canelo y buscar al campeón crucero Makabu.
Now, I just want to stop it there, right? Because when he says, I'm here to raise my voice and request the next fight for Canelo, which is versus the Cruiserweight champ, Makabu. And then everybody's like, oh. Like you hear so many people like, oh my God, oh. And it's true. Like, we're talking about Roy Jones. When I say Roy, what's the first word comes to your mind? Roy Jones. What's the first word came to your mind?
Great. Legend.
All right. Two beautiful words. And Roy, he's following in Roy's footsteps. So that's what I don't get. Like, why is it great and legendary for Roy Jones to do it, but Bellew and Canelo, they're cherry picking?
Here's one thing I want to say.
Meanwhile, someone tell me that John Ruiz was a great heavyweight. Like, go ahead and lie for Roy and tell me that Ruiz was dominant. He was the AJ of his era. Like, stop the fucking bullshit, you biased hater. Jesus, the hatred is
And
crazy.
hey, listen, Makabu did put Bellew down though. Like, he's not a punk. Like, I've been watching his fights. I mean, I don't think he's necessarily some defensive genius, but most of his fights are TKOs or KOs. He can obviously punch. He's only got 2 losses. One, his pro debut, and Tony Bellew. So I don't understand. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call it a cherry pick as I'm watching him, but he is very hittable. I do see Canelo being able to tee off counter punches. He seems to really get stunned and hurt. And I've watched about 4 or 5 of his fights at this point, all the way through. But yeah, man, I don't think people should hate. I'm not necessarily the biggest Canelo fan, but like, you can't be mad at this dude. He's going after the WBC champion at Cruiserweight. Now, I know a lot of people's argument's going to be
Let me flip it, right? I bet you Jamal, right? Not even Jamal, right? It would have to be... Yes. Excuse me. I bet you Jamal would become an overnight legend. I'm talking overnight legend. Like, this fight that I'm about to breathe into existence gets announced, and then all the fight fans, right? The same people calling Canelo a cheater, a hater, what is it? A dude that cherry picks. All of a sudden, Charlo's great. If Crawford, right, beats Porter and turns around and says, you know what? I want Jamal. I know me and Jamel had beef. I want Jamal. The dude who's been doing nothing at 160, who's been fighting 54-pounders at 160, one dude with one leg, right? Highland, right? Another dude, 2 weeks' notice. Another 54-pounder in Brandon Adams. A 54-pounder in Dennis Hogan. You understand? All of a sudden, he will be an overnight success. They'll be like, no, that dude is great. And if Crawford beats him, it equals not greatness, but he's pound for pound number 1. You see what I'm saying? Like, Canelo could undispute. He could fight at 75. He could go to Cruiserweight. He's pound for pound. But if Crawford just so happens to fight Jamal, that's it. It's over. He's Floyd. He's Floyd. And so is Jamal. Jamal might be the second coming of Sugar Shane Mosley, just to hype it up. Because they know that these dudes ain't doing shit. You understand? The dude being talked about with Canelo is Earl. People physically see Earl capable. People physically see Earl capable of moving up to 60 or 60 in a catchweight to fight Canelo. We never talk about Crawford and Canelo. You understand? But anyway, let me introduce our first guest, Dan Canobio.
You got it this time. Means
right.
I finally arrived. You've got the name right. So
I seen you, do the pronunciation for Brandon, and I think it was in one of the messages. And I'm like, oh, that I always, for whatever reason, I added a D. I always thought it was Canobio.
It's all right. A lot of people have been butchering it for years.
So I'm actually grateful that you had the opportunity and the time to come on today, because we really wanted to use your stats, man. As much as we want to call Sean Porter the test, it seems like from what we gathered, and that's why we're getting you, that you know more on the CompuBox stats, but from the stats, it seems his last 3 fights, you can see there was a dip in his output, or rather, the punches landed, which further doubles down on, my assessment that he's not accurate. As much pressure as he brings, he's not hitting you. It's pressure, and I'm sure it's difficult to deal with because of an anxiety level, and it's gonna, exert you to physically have to be in there wrestling with him, but he's not really fucking hitting you.
Well, that's his game, right? His game is to maul you. And I keep looking to the Ugas fight. The first half of the fight, he just tried to outbox Ugas, which I didn't understand what he was trying to do, and the fight was close, a lot closer than it had to be. It was when he started to take over in the Ugas fight was the second half, when he went back to being Sean Porter and mauling guys and making it uncomfortable. And I pulled up his last 3 fights. He's landing 30% of his total punches. It's against Formella, it's Spence, and it's Ugas. So it's 36 rounds. and 30% of his punches, it's down a little bit from his average right now, which is around 33, which it's okay. It's a good average when you're above 30. But the thing with Porter is he throws a lot of power shots. 71% of his thrown punches are power shots. Mm-hmm. That's a very high number. It's the highest ratio in the welterweight division. It's the 7th highest ratio in all of boxing. So
yet he doesn't stop anybody or drop anybody.
He doesn't stop. He doesn't drop anyone. That's why, it's going to be an interesting fight because of the fact that Crawford hasn't fought anyone of note really at welterweight. So it's a good first step for Crawford. Porter, I think, it's a style that, you have to, it's an acquired taste, I want to say, because when he did try to box, against Ugas, he did try to change it up a little bit and then ended up reverting back to Sean Porter style in the second half of the fight. But he's tough. I mean, look what he does is he takes away your best tool. Against Spence, I was shocked by the fact that Spence just didn't jab. Spence came in, landed like 7 jabs around, one of the best jabs in the welterweight division, and he was reduced to nothing because
I don't know I can't use the word reduce. Like, I just rewatched that fight because I'm wishing on a star. I want Porter to get this career-defining fight. It can change everything. It can change the welterweight division and his life, but I don't see it. And going back to that Earl Spence fight, he just chose to go to the body, Dan. Give us the stats on the body shots. I mean, the man threw, I think, 745, right? Something crazy. Earl went
threw a lot.
OD.
Yeah, he was just it was a phone booth fight. He just stood in the middle of the ring right from the opening bell. Probably wanted to take the fight to Spence like never before. Wanted to take away his jab. It's one of the best jabs, and hammered to the body. And also Spence is like,
I'm saying Spence though.
Spence is a freak though. Spence was like, he probably didn't want to fight that type of fight, but he will just prove a point sometimes. Spence, where he'll win any type of fight. I'll beat Sean Porter at Sean Porter style. Yeah. I'll beat. You told me that I can only beat Mikey Garcia because I'm bigger than him. Well, I'll outbox a master technician. So at least Porter, he gives you fun fights. He gives you good ones. He gives you exciting fights. But you're right about some of the punch stats. He only has a +1 plus-minus, and that is crazy. Like, that is what you land versus what your opponents are landing on you. So that just shows you he just trades. So in comparison, you have Terrence Crawford, who has one of the highest, 14 plus minus. I mean, that's insane. I mean, you're really separating yourself from the pack. But Porter also has fought the tougher opponents. So, I mean, the eye test usually works.
Crawford is just he's a more vicious puncher. Crawford, you watch the kill shots for like the Molinas. His right hook is so accurate, and he can generate 3 of them so quickly. It's insane. But I just wanted to double back down so that you understood me correctly. I'm saying Spence didn't have a jab because he decided to go to the body. Your stats should show that he outworked Sean to the body. I think he decided to change the game plan and slowed down Porter, which freakishly it did, but really didn't. Like, in comparison to a normal fighter getting hit to the body, you would expect them to slow down so much more than what Porter did, because many people gave Porter final rounds up until that knockdown where he lost the momentum. But that fight was interesting, but he still got outworked, and that's what has me worried.
113 body shots Spence landed.
And how many he threw, though?
We only count
landed
power punches thrown. We don't count actual individual body punches. But I mean, you saw the fight; he was in close, so he couldn't jab if he was in that close. I mean, that's the type of thing. That's what Porter wanted to do. He wanted to make it that type of fight. I think that's what he's going to do with Bud too. I mean, the fact that he throws so many damn power punches, that's his game. But he might not be accurate with his power shots, but he's very accurate with his jab. That's something he's been implementing more, maybe as he gets a little older.
Porter?
Porter can't be in these types of mauling fights every time out. He doesn't throw a lot of jabs, but he's very accurate. He lands close to 28%, which there's not a lot of fighters that are in that. It's like kind of rarefied air when it comes to the jab. It's like Golovkin. I think Wilder lands his jab there because he doesn't throw it a lot. But that's a new wrinkle.
I remember going
Porter's
into the Spence fight, I believe. His father, it could be the Spence fight or the Thurman fight. His father was using that stat, like that his son out jabs everyone he fights.
It's a sneaky part of his game because it's not, when you think of Sean Porter, you don't think of a jab. You think of him just throwing winging shots and coming in, but he does have a good jab. He doesn't throw it a lot, but he out jabbed Ugas, and that's impressive because Ugas is a master boxer, but he doesn't his game isn't like he doesn't box off of a jab. He throws power shots.
Hey Dan, hey fellas,
up,
it's Mario here. I just jumped on. I heard it, so I came on. Real quick, I wanted to ask you just to double back. Did you maybe you already gave it? Was there an average for jabs in the welterweight division that you have to compare to it, or were you just saying in general? Yeah, like, or were you, because I know you threw Golovkin out there, so I'm sure you're just, using that as a benchmark.
I have to find.
By the way, man, the videos that you've been putting out, freaking fire, dude.
Thanks,
I love
bro.
it. I love that condensed stuff. It just makes it, easy for, I think, for casual fans too. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I got back into wrestling, was like, Wrestle Talk, does these like quick Raw reviews, quick SmackDown reviews. And so
I like
you came on the last show. Yeah, no, listen, and you had used that stuff. Like, I was like, using that stuff the whole time with my friends and family. But yeah, last time you were on the Boxing Voice, man, you killed it. And
thanks, bro. I appreciate that. People I like to accommodate to some people that don't watch all the fights or don't. I wouldn't like the term casual is looked at as such a negative thing in boxing, but it really isn't though, because people have lives and no one can sit down and watch all of these fights. And as I say that, I'm getting dragged on Twitter because I mentioned that not everyone in the world knows who Canelo is looking to fight. Makabu, I know who he is. I've tracked some of his fights, but majority of even casuals or some hardcore fans don't exactly know who he is. So it's not like a terrible thing, but I appreciate the shout out. And yeah, I try to accommodate all sorts of boxing fans with stuff I do.
I tell people it's like the Boxing Voice does it for casual fans, like, in a long, hour-long podcast, and what you're doing is like the condensed version of that. You know what I mean?
I'm trying.
Both you and Ness making new fans all the time.
Yeah, people have a short attention span. So 2 minutes, I'll give you the whole weekend. I'll try to tell you how I think the fight's gonna go. That's
Ness's motto right there.
Exactly,
he watches it. He reads and watches it, so you don't have to.
Yeah. But the thing with the punch stats, it's like hard to. It's a lot of numbers, and you can get lost in them. But if you can find a way to, kind of cut through that and just give you and try to make it easier to digest, like that's what I've been trying to do.
Guys, let's turn our attention obviously to the biggest news. I didn't think anything like when Crawford Porter was signed, I never anticipated anything stealing its shine. I figured all the big names fought. Everything that was gonna happen happened. The other big names are scheduled, so there's nothing that can send ripples through the industry like Canelo did. Or
Jake Paul stealing a hat.
Exactly, Jake Paul did it too. But what is your thoughts on the Canelo Makabu situation? Obviously, to me, it doesn't come as a shock. I thought it would be Rivas. I swore he would see what Ryan Rozicki did and know that Rivas was the next fight. But I'm still holding out hope for that. I'm believing you start with Makabu, test the waters, and then obviously you can go after Rivas. But I'm with you, Dan. I think Makabu is a fine choice. He's a two-time champion, should be a two-time WBC champion, or at least a two-time challenger and a one-time champion. He's only lost to Tony Bellew, who himself, was knocked out.
2 losses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lost his opener, Ness. He lost.
He's one of the.
He's like Bernard. He's like Bernard.
Yeah, Bernard Hopkins and Shaki Foster.
Even better.
But. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I understand what he's doing, Canelo, and you're right. It's hard. This was the fight, Crawford Porter, that the people who had finally stopped talking about Canelo and his last fight with Plant. That was all dying down. The epilogue came out last week, and it was all starting to that was starting to clear the air. Canelo says, I'm going on a hiatus. I'll be back in May. And okay, now we're going to move on to Crawford and Porter, which by all accounts, by everyone that my notifications were, this was a fight that fans were looking forward to more than the Plant Canelo fight. This is I can't wait to see Bud finally tested.
Yes.
I personally wanted to see the Canelo fight more, but there were people telling me, I put out polls all the time, and there's this is the fight I wanted to see. But I was shocked. Absolutely shocked when I saw that, but also not shocked. I don't know if you guys saw this. On Monday, I think it was Suleiman who put out either a quote or some type of teaser that they're moving Cruiserweight down to 190. That's interesting to me. So, you got Reynoso.
Yeah, but that's
the WBC
old
convention.
news. That was old news when the Bridgerweight division got included. They always said that they were going to
Right, but the timing of it is
that's what I thought was the timing. I thought it was going to be another year or something.
I mean, listen, wait a minute. I'm glad there's someone else on the conspiracy side because I get to at least, be on this side. Because the thing is, aren't you reaching for a conspiracy? When else is something? How is it timing when it's the convention? This is when things happen.
Oh, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just timing. I mean, Canelo is a businessman, and he and his team sit around and say, what can we do next? Obviously, he loves chasing titles. 8 of his last 11 fights have been for the other guy's belt. That's absurd when you're at the level that he's at.
Yeah,
but he wants to make history. So he's going to look at this and say,
the other guy's belt. That's an interesting stat. I hope my listeners who really hate Canelo for whatever reason understand that he fought his last 8 fights have been for the other man's belt.
Yeah, this will be 9 of 12 if he fights Makabu, and
Lord.
It's crazy. I mean, he's got a challenger's mentality, and that's what he needs, because when you're at the top and you have every dollar and everything coming to you, you have to need some reason to get out of bed. I know he likes to wear the pajamas everywhere, but you got to get out of bed for something. So Makabu, this is what I think. I'm getting dragged right now on Twitter because I said that a lot of fans don't know who Makabu is, and it's true. A lot of fans probably don't know who he is. Doesn't mean it's not going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a very tough fight. I mean, the guy is huge, and he's a hard puncher, and he throws a lot of punches. Goes close to 60, 70 punches per round, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
Cruiserweight. That's a lot for a cruiserweight. So the only thing is, it's just he's doing everything he does is calculated. I know it's sacrilege to criticize Canelo, but it's a business move, and it's a smart one, because if he's going to want to settle in maybe at 175, and what's the best way to do it? You go up, then you slowly come down. Roy Jones went to heavyweight to fight Ruiz, and then he went all the way back down to light heavyweight, and it wrecked him. It wrecked his body. I know Canelo will probably do it a little bit better than that, but I don't know. It's an interesting fight. I'd rather see him fight Benavidez. Obviously, we'll all watch him fight Makabu, and if it happens, who knows? It might not even happen. How many times have we seen fights thrown out at these conventions and they just disappear? But Canelo says something.
No, and that's
this
the interesting part.
Happening,
and I'm
guys.
curious to see what y'all think. Because I see Makabu. I saw it last night. CNN's covering it. Everybody's covering this thing like it is what it is. The thing is, and I'm not saying that I want this. I'm not saying I think this is going to happen. But I have to believe that a fight of the magnitude of Golovkin-Murata, if Golovkin were to go out there and starch him and just steal the spotlight, again, I'm not saying that's the fight I want. I'm not saying that that's the best fight. I'm not even saying that, it's a better fight than Makabu. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is that money is what drives this sport. Money is what drives decisions. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been on Twitter a lot, and I've seen a huge difference from the casual fans in calling for Golovkin, whether they know better or not, however you want to put it. I don't even want to talk down on it. If that's a fight that's going to sell, that's a fight that's going to sell. But I wonder y'all's opinion how Golovkin, realistic that is.
What, a Golovkin fight?
If Golovkin were to come out and starch Murata, who I think we can all agree is a good opponent, right? If you were to go out there and starch it, I think he reaffirms some fans' belief in him, also creates some sort of buzz and excitement.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't
like
know.
Golovkin. I mean, I am so over that fight for some reason.
Me too.
Like, I loved it a year ago, but Golovkin has. I know none of these guys have done anything to
Nothing.
deserve the shot, but
Not shit.
I mean, Golovkin's just a name. Golovkin's just a name recognition, but the fight was so long ago. He's really done absolutely nothing. He hasn't even. I had Dan Riffield on my show last week. He was out with Canelo, and Canelo didn't even bring up Golovkin. No one brought up Golovkin. Didn't bring up Canelo at all. Like he's almost like okay with it never happening again. But you're right. If he sparks him out, I was more entertained by Munguia. Like Munguia, Golovkin. I wanted something new, something fresh.
Munguia Golovkin is exciting, but I don't think Munguia. Look, they're doubling back to the Derevyanchenko fight. They want a shell, man. They don't want a live body. Like, what is gonna be left of Derevyanchenko after he fights Carlos Adames? I don't expect him to beat Adames, but Adames is still a puncher. He'll be able to hit him a little bit. And, you know, Derevyanchenko's took some punishment. The fact that that's who they want next is hilarious.
Is he still fighting Adames? Because that was kind of is that like obviously Derevyanchenko has to win in order to get that shot at Munguia? That was kind of a strange development that got completely drowned out.
I mean, if I'm Derevyanchenko.
Yeah, they announced it like that was, what it was.
He's fighting Adames, though.
Adames is official.
So
I got the official press release. He's on the Tank undercard, but I think that Derevyanchenko needs that fight. You can't go into a Munguia.
I think you're right.
Listen to me. Munguia, he showed that he's learning. He still got hit, but he's going to be a problem for anybody with all those punches. I mean, you're the CompuBox guy. How many punches did he throw in that fight?
70 punches around, 70 around.
Oh, my God.
Better.
He was
How many
a
power
machine.
punches around?
I got to pull it up. I have it off right up. But
I mean, listen, you guys.
Another guy
I think Munguia Triple G is like the passing of the torch. If Triple G can win in impressive fashion, if Munguia were to at some point fight Triple G, and let's say stop him, I don't think that's possible because Triple G's got a crazy ass chin. But if he beats Triple G real bad, I think that would pass more of that middleweight torch to Munguia if he can get through these next couple fights.
And it would set up a huge Canelo fight. It could set up a huge Canelo fight. But listen,
that was supposed to be the fight a couple years ago, right?
They were trying to rush him.
He wanted it in Houston. They kept talking about it. We were press row.
They were just trying to rush him, though.
Feed us. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too at the time. But they were trying to feed us, these lines so that we would drop them in our,
we got Vanessa Montrosian instead.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Munguia is good, man. I think he's
fun.
He's not
he's
ready.
Very fun.
He's ready. I mean, the guy's he was a former champion. He's now has 4 or 5 fights with his new trainer.
Yeah, but former champion over a welterweight.
And he seems to be a guy that rises to the occasion, like rises to the opponent, right? Like to me, that's the way I feel because I've seen him not look as great against guys that aren't as great, and then for him to come out against Rosado, say what you want about him, but he had gained some momentum, and to show up big like he did. Yes, he got hit, but that's the kind of fighter he is. I think some more performances like that, and he stills the hearts and minds of the Mexican fans that he hasn't already gotten.
How long does he last in his career fighting that way? I'm just saying he does take a lot of punishment. He's a tough kid. He plays to the level of his competition. I think that's what you're saying, Mario.
Well, he's already 25. He's been on the scene for a while. He has to keep improving defensively. I saw some improvements against Rosado, but man, when he throws combinations, it's something. It's special. I mean, it's really fun to watch. He's one of the best combination punchers. But if he's not ready now, then I don't think he'll ever be. I mean, I think you gotta give him to Triple G. I would rather see that than Canelo.
If you fought on HBO at this point, you can be considered seasoned. I think. Like,
yeah,
you're still a guy that was
gone for 3 years.
Let me get to some of these.
Exactly, Dan.
Let me get to some of these chats. I got. I bet all these girls. This is from Jaguar Paul, who says, "I bet all these girls crying weren't complaining when Roy fought Ruiz at heavyweight. Big Nello shaking the game up." And I agree. I use that as my defensive approach here. I'm like, no one complained to Roy. They didn't call him a cherry picker when he picked
Well, there wasn't Twitter back then. I'm sure he would have been called every name under the sun.
Also, it was like a Spanish surname. It was a guy who'd been in the ring with some heavyweights. It was the heavyweight division. Like, you know.
That's a good point, Mario.
It's like Dan, brought it up. It's like how many guys know exactly who how do you say his first name? It's Yonga?
Oh my God, you don't know how to say his name? Oh,
I
geez.
don't know how to say it.
You are casual.
Uzukataki?
No, it's
Ilunga Makabu.
Yeah, Ilunga.
See, I thought and I was calling him Makabe forever.
No, it's Makabu.
Like, I've probably called him Makabe on the show.
He's not small, man. I met him. He's short.
Not.
He's short,
Oh,
like
you have?
5'10". Yeah, he's always at the convention. He's always at the convention.
That's what's up. I don't remember seeing a video
He
of you.
brought his whole family to the convention the last time. He like Rivas too.
Listed, but
yeah, he's 6 feet. Well, he should be 6 then. He did seem decent size. But, I think that the bigger story here, for all you writers out there, the rumor is Canelo's bringing this fight to the Republic of Congo. I was Googling all morning how the fuck could economically they make it happen when it seems like, they make $700 annually over there. But, hey, it's Canelo, and if he does the DAZN money...
It would be pretty cool.
If he does the DAZN money, I think he can do it. See, maybe Showtime can't do it. But DAZN, they might... do we have a DAZN in the Republic of Congo, or is it
Eddie
DAZN
right now
Africa?
is drafting up papers. Believe me. They got DAZN every damn right, Dan, right now.
Right.
Because DAZN Congo, Eddie's there right now. But one last thing, going back to what you said, Mario, about or this guy that commented, or whoever it was, this isn't exactly the same as Roy Jones. It's obviously similar, but it's not the same because Roy was jumping up to heavyweight, which is a much more prestigious. It's the most prestigious weight class, and Ruiz was just coming off 3 fights with Holyfield. So people knew who he was. I understand that Makabu, people know who he is, and it's like I'm getting ambushed by these, I've seen every damn fight of his, and how dare you, and you are a disgrace, and how do you have
that person represents everyone.
How do you have a fight? How do you have a job in this, and you don't know who? I know who he is. I said that no one knows who he is, and I would like to see him fight Benavidez next. I'd like to see him fight
Benavidez, Dan?
Yes, absolutely.
The guy that was getting hit with left hooks by Kyron Davis.
What's wrong with getting hit?
When you get hit, yeah, but when you're getting hit with the punch that is Canelo's signature punch.
I'm not saying he's gonna win, but I think it's gonna be a damn fun fight.
Canelo didn't come out head first.
I'm not here for a long time. Here for
it's like I said about Plant. It's gonna be a fight until it's not a fight anymore with Canelo. To me, that's how it is with these guys.
I don't think so.
They'd rather see him fight Makabu than you rather see him fight Makabu than than Benavidez.
I personally am going to try my best to take advantage of this opportunity to go to Africa. I've never been. If they really
it's
do
where
this,
they had the Rumble in the Jungle, man.
Exactly, bro.
They can, sell that to casual fans.
Let me tell you something.
Whatever.
Mario, let me tell you something. The minute you Google like the Republic of Congo and boxing, that's the first thing that comes up.
That's the first thing that comes up.
Thriller Manila is the first
where
literal
else could
search.
the fight be, really? If it's not going to be in Mexico and Canelo's hometown, because that's something he talked about. I mean, where else can it potentially be? I mean, obviously you could put any Canelo fight anywhere in Vegas or anywhere, but I mean, if he wants to make this into an event and he really wants to maximize it,
yes.
But like you said,
how you potential.
But you're not getting like a gate.
You ain't getting no gate.
Can you imagine the crowd though?
But you're not going to get a gate.
Paying a bunch for their tickets. But could you imagine the crowd in that country and where they would put it with how many seats?
I'm getting chills just
that would
thinking
be fucking.
All right,
listen, I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go just so I can say like, yo, I went to the new Thriller in Manila. Like I'm trying to go. I'm sorry.
Rumble in the Jungle.
And there'll be so much
it was
support
Rumble in the
for
Jungle
him in his home country. I mean, think about that. They're gonna be looking at that like as here comes the face of boxing to fight our champion. He has the chance to be the face. You know what I'm saying? I can just see all the lines reading up to it, but man, he'll have his whole country behind him.
And I think I Googled, and it's the first or the second poorest country in all of the world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. But that's the thing though, Ness, and I think Dan is the one who tweeted this is where I got it from. But I think Plant Alvarez is going to end up in top 10 of ticket sales, if I'm not mistaken, for Gate. You know,
I don't know. I usually don't know anything about that, but I think this was
maybe it was Rafael.
Top. It was a top.
It was definitely in the top. It was definitely in the top 10. I'm sure.
And that's the thing. How do you walk away?
Source. So now maybe you're okay with going and doing this for legacy. As far as belts is concerned, I don't get.
Yeah,
the
but how do you walk away from that, Mario? How do you walk away from $18 million Gates?
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be like that.
Right.
Like Mary said, I think Canelo is if one guy that's okay with that. I mean, he fought on DAZN for a while, was getting paid handsomely, but he was obviously he's a pay-per-view star, as we saw from.
Especially if he's going to push it, Dan. If he's going to do the free fight thing.
Let me ask you guys something. Let me ask you guys something about Canelo jumping up. I think he has built up so much equity, good equity with fans, and rightfully so. I'm a big supporter of him, where he can go do this, and there will be no one saying, wait a second, why isn't he fighting Maris Briedis, or why isn't he fighting Okoli? I mean, if you want to criticize it and look at it, I mean, he did the same thing with Kovalev. Kovalev was not the guy, the champion at light heavyweight, but he was the most marketable guy. People knew who Kovalev was because he has been fighting on.
He was the most established champion at 75. No other champion at 75 was as recognized as Kovalev. Kovalev was the crusher.
Yeah, that's why he did it. There was a
specifically for that of American. Yes, exactly.
And he fought on HBO.
Kovalev. But my point is that he's built up so much good equity. It's like I don't see a lot of people saying, wait a second, if he's going up to it's a challenge in itself. I think that's what it is. The fact that he jumped up to cruiserweight supersedes who he's fighting there. So if he's not fighting Briedis and he's not fighting Okoli, those are obviously tougher fights, but he's jumping up to cruiserweight. That's more important for some than the quality of the champion, because I mean, it's clear he took Makabu because he's 6 foot and he's a slow plodding type of fighter. But then what? After Cruiser, he just goes back down. I get it. He did the same thing with Kovalev. He beat him, and then he dropped the belts. And I don't know. I just thought I'd rather see him fight, at his weight. I'd rather see him, 175. I was more open to. I understand what this is, and it's something cool, and it's going to be great scene if it does happen, like what we said. But it's definitely we don't have to go along with it. We don't have to just 100% agree with it because it's Canelo.
Nah, we gotta.
I think it's all marketing, you guys.
We gotta agree with it, man.
It's like Patron. Everybody knows Patron. You go to a bar, it's considered the top shelf of tequila. But let's be real. If I'm a tequila fan, there's way better tequila out there. It's just not marketed as well. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I think when we look at these fights, they're like brands. Like when you go for a certain brand, it's like the Patron. Like, yeah, everybody recognizes that anywhere you go. But if I say, a different type of tequila, like a Tierra Sagada, like most people don't know about that, but that's really good tequila. That could be the better tequila, the better fight, but you can't market it as that because.
Yeah, I still think that the cruiserweight who throws 70 punches and knocks people out is the better fight versus the dude that can't keep his nose clean, can't keep his nose clean, it's facts. Can't make weight, it's facts. Weight 2 times or 3 times now.
We've all dabbled.
Has been put down.
I was just sniffing glue earlier.
I sniffed glue and I balloon up in weight. No, you're right. I mean, he should have fought Benavidez already. So Benavidez, I know he's such an exciting fighter, and he was a 2-time champion, and he should have fought him. But I had him on my show too last week, and he's like, that guy speaks with like a truth serum, Benavidez.
Yes.
He's very self-aware of himself. He will just tell you, like, I knew I messed up. Like, I knew I should have fought Canelo already. I know that fans want to see me fight Charlo, and I should deserve it. A lot of these fighters don't fight each other, but none of these guys are fighting each other. Like, who did Plant fight? He sat around and waited for Canelo. The same thing with his last run at 168. None of these guys were knocking off each other to get to Canelo. It's simply who Canelo chooses. And I hope there's this narrative out there that, okay, so Canelo's going to fight Makabu in May. So that means his next fight won't be till September. So that means Benavidez is now going to fight Charlo and Bivol is going to fight. Like, I would hope so, but we haven't seen anything to show us that they will.
No.
That makes too much
But
sense
that's
for it
the
to happen in
point,
boxing.
Dan. That's exactly why we need to campaign and get behind Canelo, because if he doesn't fucking extend his hand to Charlo, the motherfucker won't do shit. Benavidez going to keep fighting Tyrone Davis. Bivol will go 10 more rounds with Lenny Castillo. No, man, don't give you know what? He's doing the most charitable thing he can do is give the Republic of Congo a fucking fight and bring some economics over there.
Cool.
That's what he's doing.
Really, really awesome.
People are not realizing that.
You know, and the narrative cannot be lost. Like, it's going to be lost because, you know, so many people now. I remember being in middle school and being able to count the number of people that had over, 4 belts or in different weight classes. You know, Manny gets all the way up to 8, or, some people say 7, whatever. I say 8. But it's a different thing to do that at the flyweights. I love the flyweight division, but it's very different to move up and win titles in there.
Every
to get
2
to
pounds,
8,
that's nothing, man.
Exactly. But for Canelo to do it at these weight classes, it's dangerous in and of itself. Dan made that point very well, that, to do this, it doesn't matter. Like, you'll give him a pass that it's not a Coley or anybody else, you'll give him that pass because it's still a dangerous test.
Bro, who the fuck want to see a Coley anyway? Who wants to see a Coley Canelo so he could outbox Canelo from the outside?
I was just giving an example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right.
We want to fight. I want to invite my friends over. I want people to be here barbecuing. I want to fight. I don't want to see O'Coley box a smaller man. Like, no.
Yeah, no. I agree. And again, I'm saying that the narrative of him winning a cruiserweight title, that can't be lost. It can't be considered the same kind of achievements that guys at the lower weight class, even though I respect, love, those divisions. I think I'm wearing my flyweight hat. Yep. But at the end of the day, again, this is something different. This is special. When Roy did it, I remember, old boxing heads at the time, I was like 12 or 13. Like, I remember that, they were so into it, and it was just
cool.
big. Yeah.
Like years from now, you won't really remember, and the record books will show that Canelo will be a 5-time champion, and you won't sit there and pick through Makabu's resume, but the guy is a legit champion. Makabu. This guy's got a lot of knockouts on his record.
He'll be a 6.
I was looking through his record. He's a puncher. He's a puncher.
Yeah,
he's a
7 of his last 10.
And he can take a punch. Like, he gets hit. I was just not lie about that. I'm watching his fights. He gets hit. He gets buzzed. Like, I see a lot of his fights where he's got stoppages. He's been hit hard and looked like he was pretty messed up. But he's a decent counter puncher. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think his style is made for a Canelo to come up, because Canelo will be the faster guy. He'll throw the faster punches, I think, and hit him with combinations. But I mean, it's a great fight though. And I mean, to be honest, can we name anybody at a lower weight class that we think would go up to cruiserweight and do well? I mean, do we think Benavidez could do that?
Exactly.
Do we think Charlo could do that?
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Let's not guess.
I just want to throw that out there. How many other guys would we say could go up against this guy if anybody's watching him fight? How many guys would we put up there and go, yeah, he's gonna beat that. He's gonna beat that dude. He's a tomato can. That'd be an easy fight for him.
And what was the word Dan used?
That's what I'm saying.
Canelo put stock in the bank, or I forgot the word you used.
Equity,
but those other guys have equity. Those other guys,
have
to
not.
your point, Adrian, have not gotten that equity.
No.
Thank you, Ness.
No.
But also, like, Canelo is the cash cow. Like, he's able to clean out a whole division like he did at 168 in a year, because he can make whatever fight he wants. I mean, he can make whatever fight he wants. So he can now jump up to cruiserweight where other guys can't do that, or he can has the pull with the WBC to just grant him this. Let me ask you this: do you guys think his days are done at 168?
Yeah.
They better not be.
Yeah, if he's going, if this
fight,
defend
it one time.
Nah.
I mean, do you agree with me, Dan?
Defend what?
If you get it, defend it at least one time.
Champ,
he did defend it.
Champ, what are you talking about? He defended all the belts versus Plant.
But now that he took Plant's belt, don't you guys at least want to see him defend all those belts one time against whoever they say can have a chance to beat him?
Before Canelo does that, I want you to show me the man that defended his undisputed titles.
Yeah, most guys get to once those guys get this undisputed, and then they just it's just I mean
and Josh Teller needs to be credited because he will attempt that in February. Let's see if the sanctioning bodies don't interject.
Yeah, they get their hands in there and they start picking off, and it's impossible to defend.
In February, he's going to have a mandatory versus Catterall, and that would be technically defending all the undisputed titles.
So if he does go back to 160, what weight do you think he's going to come in for against Makabu? Like 180?
185.
Okay, 185. So his next fight after that, he's going to go back down to one. That's like what we just talked about with Roy Jones. I mean,
no, I don't want him to go back down right away. I'm just saying if he can hold those belts long enough, he can go back down to light heavyweight for a fight then go back to 168 for a defense.
Well, by that point, he won't have any of the belts anymore. I mean, we're talking about next May then. But if this is a move for him to settle in at 175, like that's pretty damn cool. Because if he wants to become undisputed or unify at 175 by beating Beterbiev,
nuts.
Or you know whoever the dust settles at 175, because there's still some moving parts there. I mean, this is a plan. Then this is like something I understand. This is what's gonna drive him to get out of bed. I get that, but you know he's got to be careful, and I'm sure he knows this. I mean, I'm not telling him anything here. That going from 185 back down to 160. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, look at Jones. It depletes your body, but it's.
I think it's two different lifestyles,
that we're
though,
talking.
man.
It's exciting, man. We're talking about Canelo in depth on the week of a Crawford fight. It's the guy.
Crazy.
Dan,
everything.
I just think
the sport.
I just think it's two different lifestyles, though. Roy wanted to be a rapper, a commentator. You know, Roy was doing so much. Canelo lives in the gym.
That's a good point.
His hobby is golf, which is still he's burning calories on that golf course, regardless.
What you mean when he's driving his golf cart, bro?
That's like the total retirement sport too, right?
Listen,
me and my grandfather still play.
Turn on your
like 77.
Turn on your Apple Watch. Turn on your Apple Watch and go. What is those chains now that we have? They just opened one around his Eddie Hearn. Top Golf. Put your Apple Watch on.
I golf a lot. It's a hard sport, but the fact that Canelo is that good so fast, I'm like, it pisses me off how much of a damn good athlete this guy is.
No,
well,
Dan,
I mean, when you're rich,
one hand. Get them lessons though, because Canelo been training with the best.
Dude,
yeah, he got one-on-one lessons.
One arm, drive it 200 yards with one arm. This is Canelo. With one arm, he drove it 200.
You're right, Adrian. I don't have that type of scratch. I play public courses with my friends, and we tear them up. And we
I do
I
too.
shoot 105, and I'm happy. But yeah, you're right. But
let's answer
like a 90,
private courses my whole life, and I played horrible because I have some family that does have money like that. Those exclusive courses, and it's embarrassing when the 70-year-old is whooping your ass and you just out there looking dumb as hell.
Let's answer some of these super chats. I got a good one here from Jesus who says, Pac wins, and by Pac he means Pacquiao, wins title at 135 versus weak champions like David Diaz. Moves up to 154 for a 50-pound catch weight versus Margarito. Destroyed by Mosley. People call him great. Nello moves up 32 pounds, and people say he's cherry picking. Shaking my head. I don't know, Dan. You feel like that one was for you? Nah, I'm joking.
Probably. I mean, I love Canelo, and last week I was accused of being too much pro Canelo. So it's so funny how it swings back and forth. But I don't know. It's a good matchup. It's more than just the 5-division thing, like you said. It's a move up for his legacy, and you can nitpick everything. We're even nitpicking damn Manny Pacquiao, for Christ's sake. Like you can nitpick everyone's resume, and you can find things wrong with it. Like what was it earlier this week? I saw people ripping into Cotto, saying that he always went after vacant belts, or he never beat anyone really to get his titles. I mean, it's a sport
people
where
shitting on B-Hop.
It is a sport where there's no schedule, so it's in your hands. So there's if you're Canelo and you're the cash cow, you demand everything. You are in the driver's seat to make history on your own. Like you have to be very fortunate. Like you have to be lucky in this sport. You have to be obviously he's just super popular from when he was about a teenager till now. So I mean we can nitpick all this stuff, but
I just hate the way that we receive it, right? Like, I was one of those guys that desperately wanted Mayweather to fight Golovkin. I was a Mayweather fan, not a Mayweather hater. I picked Mayweather to beat Pacquiao 7 years before the fight happened. I knew it would happen. I didn't think I was putting him in with Gennady to get him destroyed. I thought I was putting him in with Gennady so he can achieve greatness.
To prove his greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's a good point.
you know, people, when you said that or you speak it now, even now in retirement, oh no, oh my God, no, he could never. This guy's moving up freaking damn near heavyweight and it's still a cherry pick. It's so frustrating. Like, and I think that the way that the next... No, it's not. But the way that the next opponent should be picked, I know Dan said David, and, you know, there's going to be plenty to say Charlo. I say, if you're going to say those names, ask yourself, can they beat Makabu? Because Ronnie Shields said on this show that he didn't think Charlo could move up and fight Sergey Kovalev and beat Kovalev on the same night that Canelo did. Forget in the fashion that Canelo did it. He said he didn't think he could fucking do it. So how am I ducking Charlo if Charlo can't beat Kovalev? He damn sure ain't about to fight Makabu. I mean, I don't know. How am I ducking him?
In the history of boxing, has that ever happened though? Why is it up to Canelo, if he's saying it or not, or whether with his actions of picking Makabu, so that means that these other guys are going to start fighting? When does that ever, why is it up to the Canelo to these guys to fight? Like Floyd, it was a different era back then. I was thinking of this last night. Like Floyd was at the top, and then he still had 5-6 fights to go. Like obviously Maidana had that big win over Broner, which got him the shot. That made sense. Guys were more willing to fight each other back then. But
yes, they were.
I don't understand why it's up to Canelo to force these guys to fight, or he's gonna say, "Listen, you're not fighting me until is that really something that has been in the history of boxing, or is it just fans are so fed up with these guys fighting?
Why have none of these guys fought Laura though? Why no one's fought Laura?
But see, that's the thing. Look, I like other sports, right? And in my 35 years on this planet watching other sports, I've realized that when a certain team or player or fighter or competitor reaches a certain level, they become the enemy of the hardcores. Like everybody hated the Yankees when the Yankees were the best team in baseball. Everybody hated the Lakers. Everybody hated the Patriots when they became this unbelievable franchise. You know what I mean? And it was the same thing with Floyd. People hated Floyd because he was the best at the time. People didn't like Pacquiao. And I mean, there were other, inclinations there, but still it's the same thing. Once these guys reach a certain level, they get put on this pedestal subconsciously with fans the same way that they do in baseball and football and basketball. It's the same narrative. It's just, switched different.
Bro, I hated Michael Jordan with a passion.
See, exactly. Yes.
I hated him.
Because you were probably a hardcore basketball
I didn't buy a pair of Jordans till I got in my 30s. You know what I'm saying?
What were they?
You know what? I'm not that into them, man. I just seen them. I liked what color they were, so I bought them. But I refused to buy a pair of his shoes even after he was retired because I hated him so much.
Yeah, I would say though Canelo is he's appealing to everyone. He appeals to the casuals, and now with him going up to cruiserweight to fight Makabu, and now all the extreme hardcores that have watched every step of Makabu's career now are this is justifying that, giving him the spotlight, and him going up to cruiserweight is so damn cool. And all the historians out there, the older crew can compare this to whoever they want to back then. So I understand what you're saying, Mario. It's when you get to the highest level, you're prone to the most criticism. But I think Canelo is doing things, man. He is really moving the needle, and who knows? We got to see this is actually
at least he's not fighting Karim Mayfield and Andre Berto. You know what I'm saying? At least he's not out here on his social media making polls do you want me to fight Devin Alexander or Amir Khan? You know what I'm saying? I swear.
I love when that brings that up.
It's
hilarious.
Because I don't understand. I don't understand how we. I don't understand how we are deciding who's great and who's not. You got a dude that fed you bullshit. You got a dude that fed you bullshit every time. The only reason they look good is because he separated himself in the ring. But all his fights was trash. They was all bullshit.
That's another thing I was saying last week with, I think it was Dan Riffield or someone, when you buy a Canelo fight, you're getting everything now. For the last couple of fights, you're getting him trash talking. You got the press conference with the slap. He's speaking English and he's talking trash and he's very confident. He's making history, and then he's going in the ring and then putting exclamation points on the end of it with knockouts. The thing with Floyd. Yeah, exactly. So he's giving you everything. He's checking off every box where Floyd, you bought his pay-per-views and you kind of knew what was going to happen, and you were like, wait a second, why do I keep buying this guy's pay-per-views when he just boxes the ears off another guy? There's no knockout, but he's so damn good, Floyd. But it's a little bit of buyer's remorse. I felt like a lot of fans had with Floyd pay-per-views, at least with Canelo. He's giving you these violent endings. He's giving you a big show. Even his walkouts now are amazing.
His walkouts are pretty dope.
Bro, Floyd had zero shame. Zero shame. Yo, listen to me. Fucking Super Bowl night, this dude would take a cheap shot and knock out his opponent and be like, yo, that's it. I ain't getting paid for 12. That ain't my problem. Protect yourself at all times.
You talk about
Come on, man. Who the fuck was satisfied in the moment? Yeah, I'm a Floyd fan. And listen, I'm a Floyd fan.
I was so mad.
I'm a Floyd fan.
So at my house watching that shit, and Floyd hit him because he had them tiger trunks on, the orange and black joints.
Yeah.
And he fucking hit him and then it was over. I'm telling you, I was so mad. Me and my boys went to the bar later that night, and they ended up beating somebody up outside there.
Oh, man.
That fight.
And that's what he did to you, though. Then he forced you to defend him. Like, yo, it ain't his fault. Protect yourself at all times. Fuck out of here. Victor Ortiz was cheating. Fuck out of here. Like, no. Give me a good night where I can invite my friends over and we can celebrate that boxing was beautiful. Nah, I'm going to give you a cheap shot and you're going to have to be okay with that because, I'm great. Nah, man, Canelo's doing more, man. We got to just stop the BS, man. Like, Floyd was great. Floyd was great.
I like the fight.
But
I like the fight with Makabu. I'm more open to it. One clumsy tweet where I said that no one knows who he is because no one knows who he is. I mean, let's be honest here.
Listen, Dan, just to back you up, before this got announced, I didn't know who that was.
Sad.
I've seen him fight before. I've seen the guy
fight.
I stopped watching the Cruiserweight division after Usyk really left. That's one of the few divisions I just don't watch it like that. I watch a lot of welterweights. I like the lightweights. I'm a big fan of middleweights. Obviously, the super middleweight division's been exciting. Yes. Even 175. But I'm not gonna lie, cruiserweight's like that one division where I'm like,
it's a stepping stone division. I mean, it's always been looked at as the armpit of the, it's in the middle. It's not heavyweight and it's not light heavyweight.
It's not sexy. I'm sorry. It's just not a sexy division. You know what I mean? Like it should be because they're bigger guys and they're a little bit quicker than heavyweights. But I don't know. For some reason, it's the one division I kind of skip over. So I'm going to keep it real. That's why last night and today I had to really go through and watch his fights because I don't want to talk about some shit that I don't know about.
Exactly. Yo, and sidebar though, Brandon Glatton is somebody who I think could make that division exciting as hell.
Glatton versus Sapochi is like one of my best fights of the year. I mean, it's not going to win fight of the year because I think Wilder Fury
Canelo dominates cruiserweight. If Glanton is who he's got to go through, he dominates cruiserweight. Come on, man. That dude gets hit too much. I love Glanton.
He's just fun though. He's so much fun, and he's the kind of guy that makes it. Go ahead.
No, finish your sentence, brother.
No, I was just saying, like, he's the kind of guy, like, everybody's, talking, not down on Cruiserweight, but, it doesn't have the depth that it did a few years ago. You know what I mean? So I understand what y'all are saying, but to look at, I guess, that division and see where it's at, and, like, that's, like, one guy I think could probably help that division a little bit.
Fun fights, though, in Cruiserweight. There's always
definitely.
So it's just, you don't know a lot of the names, but the hardest of hardcore, the Tim Boxeos of the world know who... these cruiserweights.
I don't mean
isn't that
man? We have
that's the dude that got all the streams, right?
Hit the like button.
We got
almost 700. Hit the like button, you guys. There's not that many likes.
Gallo Fino with the super chat says going down to 168 from cruiser is hard on the body. I reckon Canelo goes to 175 after this and takes on Better Beef or Bivol. I say if he does do it that way, it would be a Joe Smith better. He always, test the waters first. That's why he's going with Makabu.
Yeah, definitely. That's something. That's what I was thinking about when I first heard this. It's like the sticker shock of it. You're like, oh wow, what is it? Cruiserweight? What are we? What? And then you kind of think about it, and you think about it a little more, and it's yes, if he's going to, this is the way to do it in a way is to and especially if he wants to win the another belt and make history and everything that we just talked about going up, fighting in the the Congo and all that. And if you want to work your way back down, don't go back to 168. And you want to, there's guys at 175 that people want to see, better BFs who people make out to be like this, boogeyman. Joe Smith is there, he's huge and he's a good puncher, but he doesn't have the pedigree of some of these other fighters, not the amateur pedigree. And then of course, you got Bivol, who I think could give Canelo a lot of problems. The only thing is that he's fought once since 2019, Demetrius Bivol. It's a guy that has speed, who has power, has defense, has a jab, has enough power to keep Canelo honest. That right there, I think, would be Canelo's one of his toughest tests. I obviously better be punches really hard, but he's not. He's kind of like a one-dimensional type of fighter. But this is the way to do it. I agree with that. Going from 185 to 168. I don't see it. So I could see his days at 168 being over. It's just crazy because he just got there, and I thought his days. I thought he was going to be a middleweight. The guy's a middleweight frame.
I don't see it happening like that either. But I think Ness made the point earlier that how long ago was that Roy Jones? Like things have changed. Like the economics of losing weight is different today. Intermittent fasting. Like there's just so many things today that make it easier on the body. But I think that jump is too big to go back down to 168. I agree.
Shit. Sorry about that. Let me get to this counterpunch. JT, New Orleans. Actually, I don't see you there, so.
He fought Ruiz in 2003.
CYP, counterpunch.
20 years ago, wow.
I'd hope there were some changes since then.
Let me get to this caller. Go ahead, CYP. We don't hear you, brother. All right. Call back in. Hang up. Call back in. Maybe the Skype is having a little bit of issues. We'll go to the next super chat. I got Andy Johnson. Andy Johnson, who says, what Canelo is doing is a chess move. Others can cancel each other out, but could imagine if Boo Boo and Better Be lose, that will eliminate two right there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not really an elimination because if Better Be loses, that means Marcus has two pieces of the puzzle and he just becomes the player. And quickly,
we just talked about Canelo maybe going to one side. Like we don't know where he's going to settle in at. There's still a mystery after this. So what does that mean for these other guys out there who are in some of these divisions that want to fight Canelo because they want the
They're going to wait. The same thing they've been doing. People.
That's what I mean. It's like probably maybe they'll wait, maybe they won't. But it's like we don't even know where Canelo's going to settle in at. The guy's fighting at all these different weight classes. If you're in some of these three weight classes, you don't have no idea either. It's just like confusion. At least we knew Floyd was 147. He wasn't, he was a small guy. He wasn't going. I mean, he had a couple fights where he came in at 150 or whatever, but you kind of knew where he was going to be. So if you were a 140 pounder or a 154 guy, you were either going up or you're going down. It's like, there's a lot of confusion out there where some of these guys don't know where he's going to be, Canelo.
I'm glad that it's that way because it forces them to do something. You can't.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Demetrius Andrade, and this is the sad part of this sport, right? Like, he's fighting Quigley. If Quigley beats him somehow, all of a sudden he's an overnight success because of the upset. He's from Ireland, so now he becomes this draw, and DAZN says, let's do a Canelo fight with Ireland, DAZN Ireland or something. It's, they got to do something to get in position. They can't sit around and wait because it's not going to come to them for free. That's all I know. CYP, coming back at you. California, up early.
Let me know if y'all hear me. Let me know.
Perfect.
Y'all good?
Yep.
All right, listen. If y'all can hear me, man. For one, this Makabu guy is 34 years old. When he was 31 years old, he was fighting a guy who was 9-28, 10-23. He was fighting dudes with double-digit losses when he was 31. He'd been boxing since he was 20. He wasn't even good enough to give a belt to Usyk for undisputed. That's how bad this dude is at cruiserweight. I'm just keeping it real, just being honest. Secondly and lastly, when you comparing John Ruiz to Makabu, remember John Ruiz has wins against Evander Holyfield, James Toney, Hasim Rahman, and Andrew Galata. He won his belt from Evander Holyfield this year prior to fighting Roy Jones. And lastly, Roy Jones was outweighed by 36 pounds in that fight, 196 to 226. He was outweighed. When Canelo fights Makabu, who we do not know, he's not going to be outweighed by 30-something pounds. It is not the same. Put some respect on John Ruiz's name because we do big wins around here on TVV. And John Ruiz got more than 2 big wins. Don't do that to him. Don't disrespect Ruiz.
He's still a champion, though. And I don't understand. I mean, are we discrediting the fact that he's a champion? The fact that he was able to lose and come back and be a champion, I think is what makes it a story.
He's looked good in his last couple of fights. I mean, 31 losses, okay, but that happens sometimes. I mean, especially when you're Makabu and you're fighting in in relative.
You're a road warrior too. You know, you don't have any home. This dude's fought in almost every country there is.
2018, he had back-to-back fights against guys with 20+ losses. So
and I think that
you're from one of the poorest countries too. It's not going to be easy to get.
He also
fights.
fought him 2 months apart, so maybe he was just.
If you want to shit on the depth, if you want to shit on the depth of the cruiserweight division, you know what I mean. I understand that narrative for sure. You could pick it apart. It's because he's ranked number 4, I think, in ESPN. I think he's 5 or 4 with BoxRec. You know what I mean? So he's at the top. The upper echelon of the division. Obviously there's a separation gap. And I think that's CYP's, best point there is, the top of the division, 1, 2, and even 3 look very different. I understand that. But again, what Ness is saying too, it's he's a champion. He represents something in this division. So to go up there and make a test with the equity that you have, as Dan said, I don't know. To me, it's not a bad fight. It's not the fight that I want, but it's a fight I understand.
Listen, Roy Jones started at 60. Alvarez started at 40. It's not going to be identical. It's trying to mimic your idols. I don't see anything wrong with it because, like I said, I guarantee you Makabu wouldn't be considered a weak champion if Charlo was moving up to do it. Andrade was moving up to do it. Crawford, whoever they love, if they were doing it, which they're not, and that's what frustrates them, that their favorite fighter is just sitting, waiting for that payday, and instead Canelo keeps fighting and creating greatness. It's just the honest truth.
So Benavidez was just ordered to fight someone yesterday. It wasn't Charlo. It was.
Well, I thought the name wasn't announced yet.
There wasn't a name. He said that I guess they granted him interim.
Yeah, he's going to get an interim title versus nobody.
Exactly. It's not going to be Charlo. So unless they step through that, or maybe Benavidez just says, "Screw this, I'm going to 175 and making weight a little more comfortably, and I can beat some of these guys there." So that's not a foregone conclusion that Benavidez is going to fight Charlo. Beterbiev is going to fight Marcus Brown. Bivol and Zurdo should definitely fight.
Well, Zurdo signed a contract. Bivol didn't because Eddie knows to keep him available in case Canelo wanted him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's wrinkles to everything, and it's very, very frustrating. But there's no reason why Bivol and Zurdo shouldn't fight. That will cancel out one guy, make things a little clearer. But Charlo, he's kind of like Jamal Charlo at 160 now. If Canelo goes to 175 and settles in there, he's kind of like the odd man out because Benavidez is a big frame. We've been talking about Benavidez going up to 175 for years now. Charlo is not going to 175. So he's going to 160. These guys got to start, looking up for other options and start earning money. That's what it's about. Start earning because it's also about legacy. I get that too, but they have to earn money.
Well, no. Definitely. According to Charlo, he don't got to fight David Benavidez, bro. I'm rich. So
he is rich, definitely is. Well, Al Heyman is the best manager in boxing, but
100%.
At some point you got to keep,
But
earning.
that's why he's not fighting though. That's his answer, and this is what's insane. Canelo's a cherry picker fighting Makabu, 32 pounds bigger, Charlo's not a cherry picker fighting Juan Macias Montiel, fighting Korobov and Derevchenko off a loss. Like, it's insane.
Canelo's pound for pound #1. Charlo is very, very far from that. No, not. I would.
You ain't never lied.
There's not a lot of people, just clamoring to watch Jamal Charlo fight.
I mean, when you're fighting fucking Dennis Hogan, I know they not clamoring.
It's crazy, man. He's gonna have one fight in 2020. One fight after the Derevchenko win, which I thought was such a good win. I mean, he looked great against Derevchenko. He did.
I thought that was gonna be a catalyst.
He was boxing. He had power. He looked amazing. It was a pay-per-view. Who cares how it did? He was on pay-per-view. And then to go from that to Montiel and look terrible, and then not fight again. And then what's going on with Jermell Charlo and Castaño? That fight is just completely just disappeared off the face of the earth.
That was too close, man. Fight. That was too close. They're going to give him a mandatory. We got Los Nebulas, who says Charlo got hands put on him by Montiel, and they're not canceling him. And I got a PBC counterpunch. Talk to me.
Yo. Shout out to the new guy who's on the show. We have similar taste, classy taste. Bivol. I'm a major fan of Bivol. I was a fan of Craig Richards too when they fought, so it was in between fight. I thought Craig Richards was going to get him with those crafty uppercuts, but he didn't. I would like to see Canelo fight Bivol. I think that's going to be his ultimate test. The dude has all the attributes to be a great boxer. And I think Canelo, his biggest test is with Bivol. And I think Eddie Hearn's trying to work that out. I think Eddie Hearn right now is setting up John Ryder. And then I think Canelo's going to move back down to 175. I think he said that in Hot Box with Mike. He's going to stay at 175. But yeah, that's my call.
Yeah, and that makes sense because I've seen, Eddie mention Ryder versus Bivol. So that would be, him finally giving Ryder something because he's always been this carrot as a replacement fight for a Canelo. And then you had Eddy Reynoso talking about, should we fight Ryder since he really beat Callum? So Ryder's probably emotionally been damaged, and they're like, let's just give him a bone, throw him in there with Bivol. He's got to move up and fight for it. But we keep Bivol undefeated until Canelo does the Makabu, comes back down to 75. Kind of makes sense.
Someone told me Bivol's fighting in December.
Versus
in
Ryder?
Russia?
Versus Ryder?
No, not Rush Ryder. No. Versus, it's like a stay busy. It's just like he just wants to get a fight in before the year ends.
Okay. He went.
I mean, whatever. It's not. But it's at least he's fighting. He's he's not fighting someone we want to see. But I tend to agree with that caller that he's not the sexiest name Bivol because he just doesn't. I mean, he's extremely inactive. I mean, he makes Charlo's look active. Like the guy fought once since 2019. I don't understand that. The pandemic happened, yes, but so many fighters found a way to get at least one fight in, and he did fight earlier this year against, like you said, Craig Richards. It was, he pushed him a little bit, but come on, man, Bivol, these guys got to start fighting. They got to get out there and start fighting. I agree with that.
I agree, 100%.
You gotta fight. I mean, it's what have you done for me lately, and it'll always be that way.
I got a super chat and counterpunch. DSV and Company says, why are people saying Canelo didn't bet? Or I guess he meant beat the man at 168 when Callum had the ring belt. No one at 160, 147, 130, 175, 126. David is nobody. And I don't know. You guys got to really take time to write this. He says, David is nobody, a weight bully. Okay, he's a nobody and a weight bully. I get you. You
can pick apart that, but when I just look at a fight on paper, I just think David Benavidez versus Canelo is just a great fight. It's just a fun fight. There aren't a lot of options out there for him at 168, obviously, because it's a shallow division. But Benavidez versus Canelo is a big event. It's a really good fight. It doesn't always have to be like, what has he done? What is that? Like, it's prize fighting, and I think that's one aspect of it. But I also think on paper, it's a good fight. Benavidez brings a lot to the table. He can hit hard. I just spoke with Breadman Edwards yesterday on my show. He was in the corner of Caron Davis, and he was praising Benavidez by, he hits hard. And I thought he hits hard. He's very precise, and he throws these body shots at the end of his combinations that, you just can't see. And he does these things in there. I'm not saying he's going to beat Canelo, but Benavidez was the fight I wanted to see next. And he's only 24. Benavidez. He's going to be around for a long time. He doesn't have to rush into this fight just next with Canelo, but I wanted to see it next.
But don't you think that's admirable of Eddy Reynoso saying to give David another 2 years instead of doing the Mayweather thing and getting you early where everyone's criticizing now you're winning? Oh, you got him early. Oh, you got him in a catchweight. Let Benavidez legit get a win where we deem him a threat. We're just assuming.
Been a pro for like 7 years. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
And his biggest name is Anthony Durrell, Dan. That's a problem.
He'll tell you that no one wants to fight him. He'll tell you that these guys avoid him
like
the plague.
I would listen, for everybody that tells me no one wants to fight me, I tell them, show me your team. Where's your money?
He's got the good team. He should be
don't.
able to overpay.
No,
he don't.
He's with Samson. He's not truly an Al fighter. He's with Samson. He ain't got the team. If he had the team, believe me, we would have had Charlo versus Benavidez, which is a winnable fight for Benavidez. And his team, Samson, kept him away from the Plant fight. It was he who said he didn't want Plant. So, Benavidez is rushing now because you rush into a check. And it don't matter that you lose because you land on that check. They weren't rushing.
You need the
to
guys
fight
that are gonna.
Plant.
You need someone that's gonna overpay an opponent, make it more worthwhile. I agree with there, but I don't know. I wanted to see that next. I wanted to see Benavidez next, but I think there's still time for that to happen because age is on his side a little more than the other guys. He's only 24 years old. Triple G's 40, so that fight. I mean, if it doesn't happen in the next year, that fight's kaput. So we can get rid of that.
Let me ask you something.
That young though, I mean, really. They can take their time. Like, I'm not saying he should wait out Canelo, but if Canelo go to a bigger weight, what does it matter? Like, you're 24 years old. You can become that guy still. You have many years
that's just
left.
so
He's
sad.
a two-time champ, though. He's already two-time champ, and he's now fighting interim titles. Like, I don't know how much longer he could fight. These, I wouldn't say tune-up fights, but these fights that aren't the top fights.
Two-time champ because you lost your belt, man. Come on, man. Let me get to CYP counterpunch, man.
Hey, we got to get this established. We got to spit these facts. Canelo Alvarez fought at 147. We know why? He was a goddamn teenager, 15, 16 years old.
You mean 140?
Roy Jones, 141, whatever you want to call it, 15, 16 years old. If you had Roy Jones fighting at 15, 16 years old, he weighed 140, 147 himself. This is how you prove it. At age 30, Canelo moved up to fight Kovalev at 175. At age 30, Roy Jones was fighting at 175, the same weight as Canelo. These dudes are the same size and weight. We have no excuse for him going to cruiserweight when Roy Jones jumped up to heavyweight to fight a dude 30 pounds heavier. There is no comparison here. Canelo is not this small man. Canelo is huge. He's big as hell. That's why he was 147 as a teenager, because I was 147 when I was his age. And I'm 195 pounds right now. And I was 147 when I was his age and was an athlete till like 7 years ago. So the facts are the facts. Canelo is not some small dude. He makes that weight, and his weight from a teenager till now proves it. I deal with athletes every day. He was not a small man.
I mean, he's 5'8",
He's a small guy. He's a small guy. I've been around Canelo.
I've met him,
small.
Man. Yeah, he's super duper small.
I was actually like
Tim Bradley. Listen,
hey, I bet y'all but Dan, I know Ness is tall because I've met him in person several times. But how tall are you?
I'm 5'8", 5'9" on dating apps.
Dan, I love that line. Yo, listen. Bradley is 5'8", guys. Like, just let that sink in. And to the last caller, or whatever little debate we were having about Benavidez, bro, Shakur is two-time champ, and he's like 23 or 24. And he's not just a two-time in the same division, And he didn't lose his belt at the scales to become two-time. So, like, trying to big up Benavidez, and then I don't want to ruin my relationship with Senior in any way, but let the public demand that fight and that be the way you get it. But simultaneously, you have to do something. You have to
But
do
don't
something.
you think? Who would you like to see him fight next? If you could have your wish, Canelo.
Well, if I had my wish, I want Crawford.
Crawford versus Canelo?
Yeah, man. He got it. Listen, he got a thing
Talk
against
about a
Canelo.
small guy.
Yeah. And that's what Floyd did. Floyd didn't fight up. He fought down. He fought Marquez. Whatever weight Crawford could make to get his ass up there and get killed and make some money. He has to dare to be great just like everyone else. And I'm not saying he hasn't. He went through 3 divisions. But if everyone thinks he could beat Earl, but everyone thinks somehow Earl gives Canelo a good fight, why is Crawford never mentioned in that Canelo conversation?
I think it's because Errol might be a little bit bigger than Crawford.
But everyone assumes Crawford's gonna beat Earl. Everyone
skills
is picking,
pay the bills. But where would they fight?
Let those skills pay the bills against Canelo, because I thought Floyd's skills would outbox Gennady.
Okay, let me ask you again, Ness. A realistic fight.
Okay.
for Canelo, out of the options that are out there.
Well, I did want Rivas, a few weeks ago. I seen what Rozecki did, and I think that's, some history. I get it. Bridgerweight is new, so maybe it's not sexy enough. But I think Bridgerweight
7-time.
Yeah, no, that'll make him 6. I think he's gonna do Makabu and then see that Rivas is more attainable.
Yeah, but I'm talking but
even more realistic than that. Even
175.
All right. Even more realistic than that. I would gladly.
We're getting closer to reality here.
I would gladly take the better Beef win. I've been saying for 2 years. People are talking about that fight now. 2 years ago, I was telling people he'll knock Better Beef ass out. At least put him down. That dude's been down by James Page. He'll absolutely put. I mean, he might knock out Better because he does so well with that high European guard. These dudes can't block the double left hook from the Mexican, and he triples it. So he goes upstairs. Now they're here, and he brings it downstairs. Sometimes they try to go down like Kirkland. He brings it back upstairs. Him and Crawford are similar, except Crawford does it with the right hand. But, yeah, man, I would take Better Beef or Crawford. I think Crawford deserves the payday. He was just in an interview saying that, if he had the luxury of picking his fights, he would be considered as great as Canelo, but Canelo gets to pick. So, let him pick Canelo.
I'd rather see him fight someone like
Charlo?
I'm with Charlo.
Charlo?
Charlo's a little more.
Put that out.
But which one? Jamal, right?
Talking about it.
You mean
Just
Jamal?
Get it out the way.
Yeah, but you mean Jamal?
Yes. Benavidez, yes. Better BF, yes. Bivol, yes. That's real. That's the 4 guys I want to see him fight. Don't want to see him fight Crawford, really. Don't want to see him fight Spence. Don't want to see him fight any of these other cruiserweights. I mean, it's getting a little ridiculous, but there are guys out there around him that he could fight, but he's going a different route.
What about Crawford Charlo? And I mean Jamal, not Jermell.
I think Jermell is better than Jamal, though.
Why? See, why do you guys want to protect the other fighter, but when it's Canelo, he could jump 3 weight classes? You see what I'm saying?
I said Jermell Charlo is the better Charlo.
But the more dangerous fight is the bigger puncher. The bigger brother.
I think Jermell is the bigger puncher. He's knocked out 7 of his last 9 guys, and he barely throws any punches, Jermell. He fights that he fights the Canelo type of style. It's a tank type of style. It's a Wilder type of style where it's low volume, high accuracy, and just extremely confident in his power, where he can give away rounds where he doesn't throw any punches at all, Jermell Charlo, but knowing that I just have to land 1. And he's done that 7 of his last 9 fights.
I just want to start pumping that Canelo energy into the rest of the world. So let's start campaigning for Earl Spence, David Benavidez. Look, you see, you want to save him now. Oh, wait, that's a little bit too much. But Canelo could be the one flying through the divisions. It's hilarious. Let's get Earl, David.
Errol Spence versus David Benavidez.
Yeah. You see, why are you in shock? But when Canelo moves up, oh, he's a fucking cherry picker. You see what I'm saying? This is insane.
There's other fights for these guys in their divisions. There's good fights to be made there.
But they can also do super fights like Canelo. This is what Canelo
those fights
does.
never end up being good. They don't ever end up being good.
But
Mikey Garcia,
Canelo made them all good.
daring to be great, Mikey Garcia.
Canelo
that was the
made
most
it
brutal
happen.
beatdown I've seen ringside in all my years going to fights. But these mega fights, these daring to be greats, they never end up being good fights.
Canelo made it happen. He didn't lose to Kovalev moving up 2 divisions. They got to be great. It's not his fault they not great. They got to be great.
I just think there's better out there for these guys in their own weight classes, and before they need to just be jumping up crazy.
And that's my thing. It's sad that Canelo has to clear out all divisions, plus he has to jump up 8 weight divisions. Like, can anyone else please just do something? Just please. Can Regis go fight Jermell?
Why are you calling for these different weight class fights? Why can't they just fight people in their classes? Because you're saying that
Canelo and Tank get called cherry pickers for doing the unthinkable, but no one else can do it.
Yeah, but
They're
doing
it.
it.
Also on a higher. They're on a higher level of boxing.
No, they're also.
We believe that they can do that, and they're showing that they can. I don't think
also
there's anything wrong with guys
So
fighting.
help me believe that Jermell, that
He
Crawford
also brings something financially.
can
Tank
do it.
is able to fight a Barrios because he's going to sell out an arena. He's on pay-per-view, whether it does 200, 300,000 buys. He is a smaller cash cow than Canelo, so he's able to draw in these.
But
100.
Dan,
he's able to
that's
go
what
to
I'm
Barrios,
saying.
take up a regular title, and then go back down to 135.
But Dan,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. The only reason he can do that is because he stopped doing the normal. He's never unified.
Who's that?
Tank.
Oh yeah, I would like to see him. I like to see Tank fight.
But don't you find that? But listen to me. Everybody wants to see him unify. Everybody thinks he's a cherry picker. Meanwhile, he's the pay-per-view star, getting to do what he wants and fighting anybody. He gets
eventually
to choose.
his time's gonna be up soon. Eventually he's gonna have to fight someone worth something. I mean, I
don't know that his time will ever be up.
He was supposed to fight Rolly Romero before Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz, I think, is a much better fighter than Rolly. He's 26 or 27. Tank. He just had a birthday. He's getting up there in age. I mean, people will tell you his best win is Jose Pedraza and
Leo Santa Cruz.
Yes, I give Leo Santa Cruz was a featherweight. I give him a lot of credit.
Tank started at featherweight.
Okay, but he's better than Leo Santa Cruz.
It's not his problem. Floyd was better than everybody he fought.
Leo Santa Cruz was not in his weight class. He needs to fight someone that is another elite talent for him to be considered in the top 10.
Elite. Leo Santa Cruz was pound for pound. He owes 2 wins over Abner.
He wasn't pound for pound when he was fighting Tank Davis.
Not when he fought Tank, but he was
pound for pound in like 2012, 2013 when he was fighting at featherweight. And he's still giving.
But
Tank
he was on the
problems
list. He was on the list.
Yeah,
That's all that matters. Some of these fighters never made it to the list. Some of these fighters never. Some of these but that, I mean, I choose to be the voice of the people. I choose to educate. You know, I don't care what fans think. I care to teach them. Some of these fighters never won 4 division world titles. Some of these fighters never avenged their losses. Abner Mars never fought Johnny Gonzalez. Leo Santa Cruz lost to Carl Frampton and beat Carl Frampton.
Okay, it's a good win, 100%. It's a good win for Tank, but it's not.
No, Dan, I'll give you a better one. It's more than a good win. Here's what it is. None of his contemporaries have 2 big wins. Gervonta does. Leo Santa Cruz is a big win, and Pedraza, who's a 2-time champ, is a big win. You don't have that. Tio don't has a big win.
I know that.
Tio has 1 big win. Tio has 1 big win. Comey's not a big win. No one will remember Comey.
He's been a pro for much longer than these guys.
Who?
Tank.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's path is different.
I know, but he should be fighting top guys now. He should listen.
But that's what I'm saying.
Tank is doing the right thing.
I'm saying that he's fought 2 top guys. Meanwhile,
Pedraza a good win. Leo Santa Cruz is a blown up featherweight.
No, Pedraza is more than a good win because he's a 2-time champ. Very few contemporaries.
Pedraza looked at as an elite fighter at the time.
At the time that he fought who? Tank?
Yes.
He was the favorite.
Okay, but he wasn't looked at as an. Okay, that's back then. I'm talking about now. It was good. It's a good win. Yes, Pedraza is probably his best
No, and
win.
then he went on to become a 2-time champ, so it becomes a better win.
Right, I like Tank Davis. I mean, this is a fight. I mean, what's his name? Leonard Ellerby constantly tweets at me because I said that I think Tank is elite. He has elite skills, but he's yet to prove it against another elite opponent. He's close to 27 years old now. He's doing a great thing. I think they've found something where he can sell out arenas. He can make a lot of sell pay-per-views, and they can make a lot of money. That's awesome. That's what it's all about. I mean, you're getting in the ring, you're getting punched in the face for everyone's entertainment. You should be making the top dollar. But it's eventually going to come a time where he's going to have to fight one of these other top guys. That Tank. I don't know how we got onto Tank, but I think he needs to fight a top guy. Pedraza win, very good win. Leo Santa Cruz, big event. Still a blown-up featherweight, not a guy in his division. I want to see him fight one of these top guys so we can stop with these conversations and we can just say Tank is the best.
What three names, Dan, would you put Tank against? What three names would solidify that for you?
Teofimo, if he fought Haney, if he fought pretty much those. Any of the champions at 135. He's a 135er. Gervonta Davis. Pretty much what I'm saying is I want to erase all the doubts about Tank.
Haney's
I
coming.
think he can beat a lot of these guys. I think he's so damn talented, but they're doing it's a business thing. I mean, they found something in him. They found he sells tickets. There's only like 5 guys in boxing that can sell tickets like Tank does. So I understand what they're doing. They're protecting him a little bit. They're doing calculated risk here, but eventually it's going to
Isaac Cruz and Rolly Romero are punchers. How are they protecting him? Isaac Cruz was the first.
Those are guys that are going to beat him.
Isaac Cruz was the first option. Isaac Cruz was the first option.
I love Isaac.
And he was Espinoza's first option. They went with Rolly because he's more marketable.
Of course.
And now
he was in house too, right?
And
he was in house too.
And now we're back to the alleged test, the one that people thought he wouldn't fight.
Him beating Cruz will be his third best win.
Okay, but and now give me 3 best wins.
Still not. Isaac Cruz is still not an elite level guy,
and that's fine. But give me 3 best wins for Tio, Ryan, Devin, and who's his other contemporary?
Tio beat Nakatani, Tio beat Comey, and Tio beat Lomachenko. That's a pretty damn good run.
So we're going to give Tio credit for Nakatani.
Nakatani's a good fighter.
Okay, so, and who'd he beat?
I'm not saying
he's known for losing.
Top guy.
I mean, he's known for losing. He didn't really beat anybody but Verdejo, who's been beat on by everybody.
Yeah, but when Teofimo was fighting Nakatani, he was on the come up. Tank has already arrived as a team will tell you.
No, Tio was making a defense.
Superstar. He fought Nakatani to get the shot at Comey. Knocks out Comey, who's also a good fighter too. Who's on the
wasn't it a defense?
He's on the level Pedraza, but he's around there. And then he goes on to fight Lomachenko and beats him. He's also lucky too. He had luck. Lomachenko was in under the same promotional banner. I think Tank could have beat Lomachenko that night too.
Tank, yes. But
you gotta have luck.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't know Nakatani was. I thought Nakatani was the defense. Let me get to CYP counterpunch.
Yo. I had an issue. I noticed that when you start talking about who Spence should fight, who Charlo should fight moving up, you don't name the dudes that Canelo fought. You didn't say, why don't he move and fight Billy Joe? Why don't he move and fight Callum Smith? Why don't he fight Yeardom? You didn't say nothing like that. You kept on talking about Bivol, Benavidez, and dudes that Canelo ain't fought. Fuck that. Let him fight the Billy Joes. Let him fight the Calebs. Hell yeah. I'll put my money on Spence and Charlo versus them dudes. But we talking about a whole different story. Canelo ain't beat no Benavidez. He ain't beat no Benavidez. He beat dudes that, them other dudes could beat them dudes too. So let's be fair. Let's line up a whole roster of Charlo and Spence fighting the same dudes that Canelo already beat. Let's do that shit. I think that's more fair. CYP out.
I would love Charlo to go fight Callum Smith. I would love him to go fight. I'm saying it now to the boxing gods. I'd pay. I dare him. Matter of fact, I dare the smaller brother so it could be better. So it could be 2 divisions, right? 54, so it'll be 60, 68. Oh, 3. Look at him. Go really try to be like Canelo and the greats. But they won't. They won't ever do that. It's only Tank over there jumping up over anything. Ain't nobody on that PBC side jumping up shit. None of them doing nothing.
It's not the PBC.
Nobody's investing in them, Dan.
In-division options for these guys. They run differently than some of these other. It's all separate entities, boxing, man. It's all separate. That's why it's so hard to make these broad, sweeping assumptions and these broad sweeping fights and comparing these guys, comparing Tank to Lomachenko or comparing Tank to Teofimo. They're all in different organizations with different networks. It's not the same. It's so hard. I mean, it's too tough to talk about their rise.
That's not true, man, because Jamal is on the PBC side. If he wanted to move up and fight Benavidez, they're not gonna say no. It's on the same side.
That one makes sense. Some of these other ones that you threw out a little earlier,
Earl Spence too.
100%.
Earl Spence too. He's on that side too. I'm talking about anybody on that PBC side. They have never jumped up. Fuck multiple one division. They never done it. Who?
I don't, for some reason, I don't love the jump up. I don't see it as something that will prove a lot. I like guys fighting the best fighting in their division. That we haven't even gotten some of those fights. So why are we talking about these crazy jump ups?
Because we're what? How many years in? What year did Charlos become champs at 54, brother? They haven't fought Laura. They haven't fought Demetrius Andrade. They haven't fought Chris Eubank Jr. They haven't fought Canelo. You know, they haven't fought, what's another 60-pounder? Murata, Gennady. Like, the list goes on and on. Like,
I'm not defending them by any means. But
so all I'm saying is if you're not going to fight your other 7 contemporaries, fuck it, move up and fight Kovalev. He's right. He wants me to give a list of past Canelo opponents. I dare them motherfuckers move up and fight Sergey Kovalev. He just petitioned to go fight Cruiserweight. Go be great. Go be great. And by the way, why the fuck is it everybody else except the PBC at the convention petitioning to do great shit? Come on. You over here capping. Like, let's be real. They don't want to do nothing but wait for an opportunity, and that's okay. But we can't be protecting them. Jay Will. I'm sorry, go for it.
It's not. I don't think it's necessarily about protection. I mean, what I take from it is my stance. Not everyone's gonna be a Canelo. Not everyone's gonna be a Roy Jones. I like to see dudes stay at their weight class and clear out, just like Canelo just did at 168. A lot of these dudes need to do that. Like you said, they're not fighting their contemporaries. They're sitting fighting bullshit fights. They're putting filler in their career at a point where they shouldn't be putting filler in. They should be. This is their time to really. I don't know. I'm not going to say they're all going to be legends, but this is the time to cement, you know, your career for a lot of these guys. They're in their 30s, man. Like,
yeah, I know.
Not all these guys are 24 or 25.
You said that everyone could be Canelo, but it's it could be a copycat type of thing where they see him jumping up, they see him doing this, that it might inspire them to do it. I mean, you have to follow the money and follow what one guy's doing to see how he's doing it with Canelo, but it's interesting. I'm not opposed to seeing these guys jump up and fight all these different weight classes, but I mean, the traditionalist in me would like to just see them fight who they have in their own weight class, but we're not getting those. What you're saying, Ness, we're not getting those at all.
I'm just saying, create your own lane, make a splash. Tank hasn't unified one title. Meanwhile, he's a pay-per-view draw and he's selling tickets. I went to Atlanta. I pray every night to the boxing gods to give me Devin Haney, Devin Haney, Tank Davis right in Atlanta. I don't want to go to Vegas. I want it right in Atlanta, but I know that it'll end up in Vegas. But I'm dying for those two audiences to meet each other.
I know, man. It's gonna happen sooner or later.
No, it'll happen after this fight. This is Devin Haney's audition. He's obviously a 4-1 favorite. But Diaz is a very good talent. You know, he's been in the ring with Russell. He holds a win over Tevin Farmer. He's an Olympian. If Tevin can Devin, who I'm talking about, can separate himself and do a little better. The Vegas numbers, I believe, were like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 tickets. You know, you need a little bit more. But at one point or another, Tank does need a dance partner. And, you know, Ryan, while maybe from a marketing standpoint is the most suitable, he's up and down and all around.
He's hard to. He's just not dependable right now.
Exactly.
He's just. It is what it is. I mean, I came out in defense of Ryan Garcia. You know, when he had the mental health issues. I mean, that's nothing to criticize someone over. Then the hand on top of it. I mean, these are things that
Unfortunate.
He's not dependable. I mean, it's a sport where you have to you're investing in an entire event in one person. So I get that too. But if you look at Haney's 2021 year, it's pretty impressive. You know, Linares and now Jojo Diaz. You look at Tank's 2021 Barrios, and now Cruz is also good. Teofimo really messed up by just fighting. He's gonna be just fighting once in 2021, but he was chasing big money. Really can't fault him too much, but his career has taken a dive backwards. And then Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell. Ryan Garcia was on pace to have a very strong 2021 out of all his contemporaries with Luke Campbell, and then he's going to fight JoJo.
I want the boxing writers. Are you on the panel? I need the BWAs to give Ryan an award for the most fights pulled out in 1 year, or the fighter with the most cancellations. This dude was gonna fight.
Teofimo would have that, no?
No. Well, yeah. If you're speaking single fight,
canceling the same fight.
Yeah. If you're speaking single fight, Teofimo takes the cake. I got
He's making history with that shit.
Mr. Calderon says Mayweather made it cool to be undefeated. Canelo is making it cool to chase greatness. And I got a counterpunch here from Ohio Zone. Jay Will, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother? What's up, brother, man? Good show, man. I like the way the show kind of spun into these different little sub talking points, man. CYP stole a lot of my thunder, man. You was kind of clever in how you was describing some of these step up several weight class fights with Earl versus
Benavidez,
Jamal, some Benavidez, yeah, something
that's
crazy.
The green print. That's the green print in Dallas, baby. Little Mexico.
CYP took my thunder. He took a little bit of my thunder on my call by kind of talking on that. But the other thing I wanted to touch on real quick was the Roy part. When Roy moved up, man, there was nobody we were clamoring for Roy to fight in or around his division. He had just beat Tarver and then went up and did the Ruiz fight and came back down and fought Tarver again, but lost the second time. But there was nobody we was asking for him to fight. So he literally cleared everything out, then chased greatness. And then I want to speak on the cruiserweight that Canelo's supposedly going to be fighting. I looked at him. I looked at him thoroughly, man. And I don't call any fighter a bum. But if you compare his skill... Hold on.
You there?
If you compare his skill set... Hold on. If you compare his skill set to Canelo's skill set, man, it's like watching Michael Jordan playing one-on-one versus like Patrick Ewing, or like it's like a guard versus center. It's like it's not going to match up.
But that's the problem. Reynoso believes in Canelo. Floyd Mayweather Sr. did not. He kept telling Floyd stay away from Gennady, and it's the same thing. When I see Floyd's skills and I see Gennady's skills, they not on the same level. One dude is light years faster and more talented. But guess what? He wasn't. I ain't gonna say his team advised him not to take that fight. Where Canelo, they're seeing those holes in Kovalev, and they're picking them off.
This guy for a reason.
Yeah.
They picked this guy for a reason. They picked 168 for a reason.
Exactly.
This is a guy who knows what he's doing. I mean, he's a businessman. He learned from Floyd in more ways than one in that ring when they fought many years back. He learned from Floyd that now he's the pound-for-pound guy. Now he is the cash cow and stuff. But, yeah, Makabu, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I do think he's a way better fighter than him. But this is an interesting development, to say the least, that we're going to see Canelo at cruiserweight. I mean, it's nuts. It's absolutely wild.
I mean, listen, Canelo is very precise in how he's making decisions in his career.
Canelo.
I mean, there's a big thought process behind what they're doing, and you're starting to see it unfold.
I mean, you're supposed to be strategic, man. Like, again, that's why Charlo would move up. You know, you think you can beat someone. People call it cherry picking. No, I think I can beat someone 32 pounds heavier than me.
A lot of those guys are complacent, though. A lot of the guys that you talk about, they got complacent, a little bit overpaid.
Of course.
And that's just what it is. I mean, if you want to look at it from that standpoint, they're not.
I mean, look at those Mikey checks. What didn't he get like $7 million from the Zone? Who did he fight?
When the Zone came in 2018, they disrupted the market, and it took like 2 or 3 years for it to reset back. that was. Say what you want to say about it. Was not really a good thing for boxing.
No, it wasn't at all. I'm with you. I'm with you, Dan. It wasn't good for boxing.
No.
We were overpaying guys for certain fights, which made it harder for us to get bigger fights because business-wise, these people, it just changed the pay scale. If this dude's getting $7 million for fighting him, y'all disrespecting me by offering me less money.
I got a counterpunch. Sorry about that. I got a counterpunch from Josh in Dallas. What up?
Man, I was trying to counterpunch when he was talking about Tank.
Go for it.
Tank's the cash cow at the lower weight classes. Mm-hmm. Tank ain't never called out none of these guys, and all they do after every fight is me and Tank down the line. I'll fight Tank. All they do is call out Tank, and Tank's about to just pick and choose at the right time because he's the one who's leading the show down there. Same thing as Canelo. I mean, people weren't glamoring over Mario Barrios, and now he's like they waiting to see Mario Barrios to fight. So it could be the same thing with Canelo, just like with Plant. But I mean, he does need to fight T.O. and Josh Taylor. But if you go watch Coach Calvin, he has a podcast called The Rise. They only get like 50 viewers of video. They spill all the beans on there. Tank wanted to fight Josh Taylor next instead of Mario Barrios, and they wouldn't give it to him. So, I mean, I think Tank is trying to catch greatness, but these guys want $10 million. These guys want $10 million to fight him, but they done got no pool. Mm-hmm. That's my call.
Yeah.
Good points. I mean, Tank undoubtedly is the cash cow at those lower weights. It's not even a debate. The guy's doing crazy numbers, and with that crazy numbers comes the spoils of being able to pick and choose. And all these guys want to fight the best. I mean, none of these guys are saying I want to fight lesser opponents. They want to fight the best, and they have guys at their companies like at Mayweather Promotions that will talk them out of that or steer them in a direction that makes everyone money and keeps the gravy train rolling.
Absolutely. CYP counterpunch? Or did I get to that? All right, I think I did. So we got...
This guy said Tank's going to retire a 10-time regular world champion.
Yeah, this is what I got to say to that.
We got working, I know for sure after that sparring session, Sean know that, I can hold my own, I can say the same for Sean, so he know that, I'm one of them top guys, I say. We went up.
And that's all I got to say. Sean knows.
He is.
Sean
the
knows.
top guy.
Sean, the welterweight, knows.
Yes, Tank is a beast, man. I want to see that guy fight.
Tank won't be saying that. He won't be saying that with that smirk unless he put hands on Sean Porter.
Another thing, too, with Tank, and I want to see is how he's dedicated back to the sport. A couple of years ago, everyone was saying he wasn't, interested. He was the weight this, and he wasn't fully invested. But look what I mean. He's just all he does is he doesn't even talk trash that much anymore. He just comes to fight. He sells out. He knocks guys out, and he's on to the next one. I would say he's made a big time transformation in his dedication to the sport.
Absolutely. And he brought boxing back to the city of Atlanta heavy, like
yeah. I mean, the guy's doing great.
The guy's built a marketing hub for boxing. Just himself coming out to see him. That's good for boxing in general.
Yeah, I love that he opened up that market in Atlanta. I got a counterpunch and a super chat. Protege says, "What up, Ness? What up, Adrian? Look, Canelo is the GOAT, but why can't other fighters dare to be great? With the exception of Sean Porter, ain't no one else trying to do great things, man. I hate that. I agree with that. Sean, I forgot to highlight Sean. He is a warrior. Mr. PBC, counterpunch.
Ness, we have finally agreed on the same thing. I believe Crawford can move up and fight Canelo. He said it himself. Going to the new co-host, I think he said something about Better Beef should fight Bivol. Bivol's beating him in amateurs, and Bivol's been chasing him since the HBO days. I think that Bivol's going to outclass basically Charlo, Benavidez, everybody else. But Canelo will be the ultimate test because the body punches and the arm punches, they're very, very difficult to get through. But I definitely believe Crawford can do the same thing, just as much as Earl can. If people say Earl can do it, and people say Kell Brook move up to 154, and then obviously Crawford beat that person who moved up, I definitely believe Crawford can do it too. He's a champion, and it's not that hard to get acclimated to a certain weight. So yeah, that's my call.
Yeah, and that's what I want to see, man. People think his skills are great, and that's the only guy that'll beat Canelo is someone who has the same skill set or the skill set is of the same level. You can't expect just we were noticing. You can't expect just because he's bigger than Canelo to beat Canelo.
I said Zerto versus B-Ball, not Better BF.
I actually want Zerto versus Canelo. I hope he beats.
That would be a massive event.
I know.
Think about that, man. The tickets that would be sold for that.
I've been telling my audience that it won't happen because he's signed to Golden Boy, and I don't think Canelo's trying to make them any money.
It's hard to tell now, but it's going to get to the point where if Canelo wants to fulfill, like he's talked about, fighting to 36, 37, does two or three a year. I mean, it's, eventually we're going to run out of people that he's willing to give paydays to, and who knows? Oscar was at his fight. Oscar now is starting to say the right things. You've noticed that he's not like a scorned lover anymore when it comes to the breakup with Canelo. Who knows how far that will go? But I mean, I'd like to see him fight Zerto. That would be if Zerto can get past some of these other guys. Not someone I want to see Canelo fight in the short term. All right, there's other guys, but Zerto is huge. He's a hard puncher and he's very popular. It would be a huge event if they did that in Mexico City.
All right, let me get to. Wait.
Just real quick, Ness.
Gotta go.
There's almost 700 people in here, and there's only 200 and some likes. Just hit the like button if you're able to, because I know you like the content. Just hit the like button. It's free.
Yeah, it helps with the visibility of the show. It's gonna put this episode in the eyes of other boxing fans, and then they can learn that they can call in and join the conversation. The number to call 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. I got CYP right back at us. California, what up?
Yo. I want to let everybody know that, I got a show, and it's going to be laid day. Today's going to be laid day for all the dudes who are Canelo fans who don't get laid. We going to help y'all get laid. We got ladies on the panel. We're going to talk sex today. It's all about sex, and I'm dead serious. You're going to learn what they like, what dislike, all that. We're going to help all y'all man fans get laid today. We're going to get laid today, and I'm dead serious. That's Wednesday tonight, 6. We starting at 5:30 Pacific, and I swear to God, it's a real show. Click on Mr. CYP. You gonna learn about sex today. Laid day. Let's get laid day. CYP out.
Was that like a play on Canelo's payday?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was pretty clever.
We got the best stat ever that says Isaac Cruz is top 10 lightweight, number 2 in the IBF. So stop the BS. Only guy who fought someone in the top division is Tio, and that's only because of Top Rank. That's right. That's very
all
true.
these guys, if they were Top Rank, they would have fought Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's very true.
You have to have luck.
But
you
the
have
truth
to have
is,
luck in this sport.
even as a Tank fan, the truth is the only one that wasn't a Top Rank guy that could have possibly got it, felt that way, was Tank. Loma wanted it. Bob, obviously seemed to want it in the media. We don't know what would have happened because we just seen in the WBC convention that Bob is trying to pay Dillian White 20%. I mean, that's so unfair.
I saw that.
That's so unfair.
I saw 80-20 is the ultimate FU. That's
so that's what I'm saying. So
you're of good faith there.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So you're in the media saying you want Tank, but when the offers get sent out or the negotiation starts, are we talking about 80-20? It's just crazy the way that these guys start to do business because it's.
Hey, listen, they just try to get the best deal right away. They know nobody who should is accepting that. I mean, that's pretty much we're gonna give you something. Just show up.
That's a bad. I mean, that's 80-20. It's like disrespectful.
80-20
Right,
is
exactly,
bad,
like,
bro.
We're gonna throw you a couple of crumbs, but show up and make us this money. Come on, like that's tough. But who was that? That's Bob, right?
I got Josh. Yeah, that's Bob,
for sure.
of course, bro. Josh in
Yeah,
Dallas.
that's a Bob move.
Josh in Dallas, Counterpunch number 2. What up?
Yeah, and he said that Tank ain't fighting none of the top guys, but Tank sent the contract to Ryan Garcia.
Sure did.
You know, Ryan Garcia was doing all that 2-round talking, and when the contract got sent out, he went hiding.
Well, his team actually
And
said
what's
they
it
had
called?
other plans when the contract.
How did we know who's sending contracts though?
I
mean, they said it.
I
mean,
Leonard.
they say a lot of things. Everyone says things. They don't actually. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure what actually happened. We don't know anything.
Ryan Garcia people said it
wait a minute.
on TBV.
Yeah, wait. You don't believe that Leonard Ellerbe attempted to make the Ryan fight?
Oh, I agree he did, but we don't know the details. We'll never know. I mean, he can tell you these guys lie all the time. They want to get out in front of it. That we sent this contract. I sent. Whenever people start getting into, he sent the contract. No, he did. No, he did. It's just complete hearsay, and it's like whatever side you want to believe. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
I gotta defend Leonard. I gotta defend Leonard. When he sent out the contract to Tevin, it was spot on.
I'm not saying he didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I've said it for
Hold on. Let me get my
now,
counterpunch
that
in
Tank
before the
should
time
fight
runs out.
Ryan Garcia.
Don't worry, I got you, Josh.
Sorry, my man. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, but yeah, they've been sending out contracts. You can go back on Ellie's channel 3 years ago. Tank was in a gym in like a red T-shirt. They were talking about how they were going to beat Loma, and that they never sent in the contract. So they're saying what they want to say, but they're not doing nothing. And then you said that Leo was a blown up featherweight or whatever, but nobody had a problem when he was calling out Gary Russell. But Gary Russell, everybody wants him to fight Tank. So what's the problem with Leo Santa Cruz?
And Devin. I'm dying
yeah,
for him
and
to fight
Devin. And just because it's Leo's fifth weight division, what was wrong with Mikey Garcia fighting Errol Spence? That was his fifth.
And,
so I mean, and their resumes are the same.
And JoJo, this JoJo third division.
I hated Mikey Garcia fighting Errol Spence.
This JoJo third division. Listen, let me tell you, you only small when you fighting my favorite fighter. You know, that's it.
Yes,
exactly.
I've said for a while now that
it's only excuses whenever it comes to Tank.
Nah, not just Tank, bro. It's everybody.
So these guys get I mean,
it's everybody. I do gotta cut you though, but it is everybody. It's not just Tank. It's like whoever needs to be criticized, then they will just criticize. They'll find a way. They'll find a.
Yeah, listen, exactly. Man, that's our society and our sport. I mean, that's the thing. Like, look at it now with all the exposure. Look, you got CompuBox, all these things. Like, listen, we tear apart fighters from the past. Like, we go in the past just to shit on them. Like that. It's messed up.
What
like,
it is. Boxing. It's the whole culture of it is that way. It's a highly debated thing. But let me just say one last thing about the Tank thing. Is I have said this for a while now that Tank, he should be doing everything he possibly can to try to get that Ryan Garcia fight, because it's a winnable fight. It's a winnable fight. You got a guy in Ryan Garcia who is 100% dedicated. Isn't 100% dedicated to the sport by Canelo's own admission. So you have a guy that's you can beat. You have a guy that's not 100% dedicated, and also a guy that presents the highest financial upside of any of these other dance partners you can have for Tank. So he should be busting down the door. Bro. And I tweeted that again, and Leonard Ellerbe jumped on it and said, Tank doesn't knock down the door for anyone. People are chasing him, but you don't get it. Like Tank, they should be pushing for that.
That's a good fight, because you can charge pay-per-view for that.
Huge
no
fight.
No one's going to be upset.
Listen,
massive fight. It has all the commercial appeal.
But Ryan gets killed.
He loses.
I'm with you.
Ryan loses 100%.
You sacrificed the shit out of Ryan his whole career for that.
Don't you think Golden Boy is thinking, like, how are we going to, if this guy's not 100% dedicated, we need to get a return on our investment, or we need to cash this guy out for a lack of a better term?
They'll never get it. There's too many killers in the water, even the ones moving up. Even a Tevin Farmer, I'm not saying he could beat Ryan, but they're all tough fights for Ryan. And it's funny that you say that, man. I feel like the Oracle. I've been saying it's a race to Ryan because he is the most vulnerable. It doesn't matter
and
what Linares showed us.
Creates the most money.
It doesn't matter. Yes.
You should be licking your chops if you're any of these other guys at 135. Because Teofimo, all of them will be favorites. The top guys. Haney would probably be a favorite over Ryan Garcia. These guys are all favorites over him, and he's not 100% dedicated, and he creates so much money. So Tank Ryan Garcia is the fight. That's the fight to make.
Sergio says, I admire Canelo for taking risks, like moving up to 200 pounds. We know other fighters like GGG, Charlo, Benavidez won't do it, but Breedis is a better, and I guess he meant better fighter. Dan, you know you ain't got to stick around forever. I got hella super chats and you dozens of callers, so I got to start getting
interview
to 'em.
Alicia Baumgartner.
Okay. Congratulations
she had that
to her.
massive win.
Big
I'm
win.
interested in hearing about her, what she wants to do next. Michaela Mayer is chirping. They're chirping at each other. Women's boxing, I mean,
she's about to be in a bidding war because you know Eddie's gonna try to campaign to get her back on the zone, and now Michaela was on her at the minute. I love Michaela's energy. She made me so much more of a fan. I mean, the minute that Alicia Baumgartner was being interviewed in the ring, Michaela was live on her shit like, they didn't ask you about Jesus. They asked you about Michaela Mayer. Talk about me.
Man.
Oh, my
You know what the
God.
thing about
She
women's
hyped
boxing
me up.
that's great is the thing about women's boxing that's great is it's the talent pool isn't like as deep as the men's side. So you're likely to get these fights a little bit quicker than you are on the men's side. So right away they get right into it. They start trash talking. Baumgartner said she wants the dog walker. It got out of control fast. But I think women's boxing right now, guys, is thrive. Next year we could see Shields versus Savannah Marshall.
Marshall got hurt, man, so it's probably going to get pushed back now.
Okay, so maybe see at the end of 2022, but for the sake of my point here, Ness, we could see a big super fight. 3 big fights in the women's boxing. I like women's boxing, man.
Yeah.
I get a lot of hate for that, too. I mean, it's fight. A fight is a fight. Alicia Baumgartner has power in those hands, and she's a Ford model. She's signed with Adidas. I think she could be the next big thing. So I'm going to interview her at 12:30. So I'm going to run.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. We always appreciate you around here, man, and keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you and your show. Please give out the time and the URL so they can follow you on social media and YouTube to catch your show. Is it live?
No, it's a podcast, but it goes out on Pluto TV. It streams every week on Friday. We're on Pluto TV at 4:30. It's also on the Fubo Sports Network. You can get the show on my YouTube, CompuBox TV. You can listen to it. You can get it. There's a whole bunch of different ways to get it. We got Breadman Edwards on this show breaking down Crawford versus Porter, and then, like I said, I'm interviewing Alicia Baumgartner today, and that should all be out by tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys having me on. I love this. I love being able to interact, getting a little bit roasted in the chat, which is fine by me. I love it. I got the Makabu haters after me. This is good. Boxing's thriving right now. I appreciate it. My man Adrian, it was good to meet you and talk. So I'll catch you guys another time. Whenever you want me on the show, man, it'll be an honor.
Appreciate
Thanks
you,
for
man.
coming on, Dan.
Appreciate you. There you have it. Dan Canobio. And I want to open up these phone lines. I know we got to get to a lot of callers, so let's go ahead and do it.
Let's go! Let's go! I'm ready!
It was a very good conversation. I will be getting, obviously, to all the super chats as well. I'm going to keep it moving on those and not leave anyone behind. Next up, we got D Nice, who says, good morning, fam. Yo, I get it. No, excuse me. I get the move, but I also see the excuses coming that he won't be able to make 168 anymore. Same thing he did after the Kovalev fight. Yeah, and that is the problem of the guy begging and hoping for the Canelo fight. You can become the Canelo fight by becoming him, right? Giving him a reason, or you can just wait. And a lot of people choose to wait. A lot of people choose to wait. Listen, Gennady showed us he had to wait, but he also became the guy. You get the fans behind you. And I won't deny that Gennady had money behind him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't expect, your favorite fighter to beat Canelo if his team doesn't believe him. His team has to believe in him. They have to invest in him. Like, think about Daniel Jacobs. Al Heyman believed in him. I know this sounds crazy. Maybe he didn't believe in the skill, but he believed in the story of Daniel Jacobs, and he invested in him. This man was all over. He did a deal with the Presbyterian Hospital in New York. He was on New York City buses. You know, the cancer story went around the world. And yes, not everyone has cancer and can beat it and come back and box. I know. But the money was dumped into him. He did pay-per-views. They tried. And that's what I'm saying. If they don't, and look at where Jacobs is at. Look at his resume. Gennady, Canelo, and Julio Cesar Chavez. Those are all huge names. If you don't do something, they're not going to invest in you. And guess what else he did? He tried very early to become a world champion. He got knocked out, you know, and he became a champion again. So you got to admire that. I got the axiom that says Canelo used the green print. He went to PBC and robbed a bank, the Al Heyman bank. Fighters chasing Canelo while Canelo chasing greatness. All right, let me open up these phone lines. And that is true. You know, you got to do your own thing. Yo, Charlo Benavidez is his own pay-per-view. That's Dallas. That's San Antonio. That's Little Mexico. Whatever you want to do, that's its own pay-per-view. Why is it so difficult to make that fight? You know? And look at Jaime. He avoided Andre. He's been the mandatory forever. He keep passing up. He about to fight Derevyanchenko, a dude that Charlo fought to test the waters, right? And at the same time become Charlo's mandatory as well. Right? To pick and choose what champion he want to fight because he ain't ready. He also a 47-pounder moving up. You know, he beat the dude that Charlo went 12 with in Montiel at 47. He knocked him out in 2. You know, so he's getting acclimated. So, you know, they got to do something. You can't just wait for these dudes, man. Everybody waiting. They got to do something. Something, man. You know? Can't complain. Gennady was getting in there with whatever HBO got him, and he was knocking him the fuck out. And he was selling out. He was selling out, but they believed in Gennady. Because with mediocre names, they was making him the A-side. They was putting him in different parts of the world. He would sell out in New York. He would sell out in the Forum in L.A. They would take him everywhere, you know? They made him a viable Canelo opponent. Dude wasn't even in Canelo's division. Meanwhile, right, we telling Charlo, do something because you ain't in Canelo's division. That's what we're doing. The same Gennady Golovkin shit. He made noise. He made noise to force us to want to see him fight him. It's that simple, but
Mexican style, man. For real. He was out there doing it.
He was, bro.
You're serious? You're serious?
We are. We really are. But let's open up the lines. No problema.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by Big Rigs Trucking Agency, experts for all your insurance and trucking needs. For quotes and consultations, visit us at brtagency.com or contact us at 908-943-6918.
Rich Mendez says the 31% that say this is a cherry pick are a-holes, the worst of the haters. How is this a cherry pick? But I would like, I would have liked the Charlo fight. And he's talking about the 31% on our poll. This is the first time I actually say it verbally on the live show. We do have a poll going since before the show started. And the question is Canelo chasing greatness or cherry picking by fighting Makabu? So the first multiple choice answer is yes, he is a cherry picker. The second one is tell David Benavidez, Jamal Charlo, and Andrade to do this. And then the third is Canelo is chasing greatness. The last is I want Canelo versus Charlo, Benavidez, etc. And the votes are in. 31% of the people out of over 1,100 votes believe that Canelo is a cherry picker, while 15% would rather tell David, Charlo, and the rest of the bunch to go and do something fucking great But then 45% of the overwhelming audience believes that this is Canelo chasing greatness, while 9 measly percent still begging for the Charlo Benavidez fight. That being said, we're going to the callers, right? We did everything we need to do except maybe...
Subscribe to youtube.com/theboxingvoice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to that goal of 130,100. I think last night I checked and we were like at 130,075. So we need 25 more people, or just make it 25,000. That's right. Tell a friend that we are rocking out. I'm going out to my boomerangers. First up on the list, it looks like J-Mac Attack. What up? J-Mac, are you available? Are you available? New Orleans.
So you hating?
I'm that guy. What you want to bet on? You bet 100,000 on that. Let's bet $1 million. You getting that money, right? Easy. You bet $1 million easy. And I for the bread. When I him, y'all gonna say he was too weak on my life.
Okay, bow down, bitches. I'm about to handle business. I'ma teach you all a lesson. This'll only take a minute. Got a part and all this passion in my blood. Niggas hating just because. Think about it. Everybody love Bud. J-Mac, where you at? Where you at? All these niggas hating on me. Shit is whack. So official with it. Don't check the stats. Hey, I'm out here trying to get it. Next, I only got a minute. Get ready for the back attack.
Yo, that's how it sound.
So far, so good.
All right, shit. Sound like I'm in a bad era. Nah, hey, shout out to the new host, Dan. You finally found that dude you're trying to tell me you was trying to switch Adrian out with, right? Nah, I'm fucking around. Adrian, you know I gotta bring it. You ain't on that back call no more, so I gotta attack you verbally on the show now. Definitely with this Canelo thing, man. I'm part of that 31%. I wear that hater stamp pretty, and I don't care, man. Like, I think it's bullshit, man. This dude got multiple names and people he could fight in around the weight class. I don't want to see him hop and pay another dude for another dive like he did with Kovalev, man. Like, shit, nobody ain't asking for this fight. I think they trying to get a payday and get somebody that's willing to take a dive. How much I got left on my personal?
Yeah, man, that's all I'm saying. I'm begging for Charlo, Demetrius. You know, I ain't gonna put Earl in there. He unifying, man. I'm begging for everybody else that's begging for a shot and a payday. Let me get the soundbite, man. Let me stop. Let me do Canelo justice here, man. I'm asking those dudes, man, to do this. Give me a fight that nobody want. Nobody don't want this fight. Cool. Tell them dudes to give me one of those fights that nobody don't want, because the truth is, don't nobody want Montel Macias.
Payday. You want payday.
Don't nobody fucking want Dennis Hogan. You know, we ain't want none of that shit. So, you know, if we ain't want Callum and we ain't want Plant, we definitely ain't want fucking Korobov or Willie Monroe, who was the original fighter, before somebody tried to waste their money saying he was a short minute replacement. Don't give a fuck. We ain't want none of that shit. What was Willie Monroe gonna do? Same thing he did in the motherfucking fight with Triple G. You ain't got the power, you ain't got the power. RSC Boxing says Canobio is a PBC shell. He's only complaining because he feels Canelo is leaving Showtime, but this fight might be with Showtime still. I think it'll be with the Zone. If they go to the Republic of Congo, I mean, they got to use that DAZN money. Come on, that's how they got that Mexico show.
Most definitely. I think DAZN, anything international, you're going to be dealing with DAZN. They're more interested in stuff like that.
Yeah, and you know, I want it. I want it. I don't mind. I mean, I've never been. I mean, and it just adds to my story. I guess that's selfish, but you know, boxing changed my life, and it would be taking me now to another country. You know, and you know, as a dude that this was not his dream, and the podcast organically got as big as it got, that's just amazing for me to be able to say that I got to the fucking Congo because of a Canelo fight. Like, I would be credentialed, you know? So it makes all the sense in the world to me. Rick in San Antonio, what up?
Hey, it's a good conversation, guys.
Thank you.
I'll start off with Benavidez. I think Benavidez needs to move to 175 where he belongs, man. The guy is struggling to make weight at 168. Go to 175 and fight one of the champs. Charlo and Andrade, they need to face each other, man. It's been years now. They need to face each other. The winner fights the Golovkin Murata winner. If they can't get that fight, one of them need to go to 168 and fight a top 168 pounder. So these guys at 168 and 175, they just need to fight each other, plain and simple. And for Canelo, he don't have to come in heavy to fight Makabu or any cruiserweight, really. This is my opinion. I believe he could still fight at the minimum of cruiser. He can come in the upper 170s, even 180. And he can easily make weight after that and still fight some of the guys we want to see. But that remains to be seen. If he wants to market himself at 168 or 165, I believe he can. With any of the three divisions, he's not having to worry about making weight. And if Canelo does go to heavyweight, in my opinion, if it does happen eventually, I could see him fighting Usyk at a contracted weight around 201, 202 pounds. In 2024, what do you guys think of that? May of 2024. I'm going to leave you guys with this. Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko, Devin Haney. Who you got versus Tank? Any of those guys. I'm out.
I got J-Mac. Who you got versus any of those guys? I don't know what he means. Like mix and matching them?
Yeah, I didn't quite catch all that.
All right. Let me get to this next super chat. Then we're going to counter punch from J-Mac. So prepare your microphone for optimal quality as we get to Ozzy, who says, "This is the Ness we know and love. So fuck the Canelo haters." Alrighty then. All right, so I'm going to have a lot of mad people because I don't know that I can get to everybody. As you can see, I was real busy yesterday and the busyness is carrying over today. I will share the news if everything goes well, but we won't know until after the 1st. But we'll be in LA from the 28th to the 1st. So yesterday's conversation went well enough that, we're at least being flown out, So details to come, but it does mean I'm busy today. I got Creamer who says, "Quit the nut huggery and call a spade a spade. What's the point of chasing belts? Call Yerdom when they're all C-class Eurobums. Stop it, TBV. No, you stop it. You stop it. Go tell Earl to beat Makabu. Go tell fucking Canelo, Charlo, or Andre to fight Kovalev. He just moved up to cruiserweight. He's not even a real cruiserweight, right? Somebody go fight him. Stop acting like he's not a 3-time champ with a fucking name that just fought Canelo. Go fight him. Don't let the zone, who was about to pay Melikulia, they was paying Kovalev out the ass to fight Melikulia, the Rosado knocked out, remember? But he tested positive. Like, no, you go do something. You dare to be great. You damn nobodies. You want to do nothing. Just sit around and do nothing. YouTube, shout out to you. Shout out to you for the $1 super chat. All right, J-Mac, kind of bunch.
Yo, jumping up multiple weight classes don't make anything great. Chance, especially when it's not warranted. Canelo is the cash cow himself. He got a bunch of names around him at 175, 168. It's a clear cherry pick if he's hopping to fight a C-class or level talented guy if nobody wants to fight. When he clearly in a division where he can make names around him from 160, 168, and 175. That's why I can't believe it to be no other than a dive. And I think Dan was making a point on with Tank Davis on here. Canelo and Tank Davis ain't no different. The only thing is Tank Davis it just ain't as big as the star is. But the way Mayweather got him lined up, he doing the same shit, picking his opponents, just as Canelo. So they're right. They are in common. They do have that in common. Two cherry picking.
Yeah, they cherry picking the best resumes in their divisions. That's what I'm saying. They cherry picking the best resumes in their divisions. They respective adversaries, their nemesis, their contemporaries. They don't have the wins that they got. So they doing something right, for sure, for sure. Boomerang, Atlanta, Intrigue, are you available? No Intrigue.
Bueller.
Going to Brandon in Cincy.
Hey, whole nother time zone. Jumped up from back with our mind on. Can't play when you here, get your life stole. If you bring it here, then the price grow. Phones jabbing and punching the line long. I drop a pigeon, let 9 go. We slap with the thick glass and white go. This only happens in Ohio.
He was ready. I don't know if you heard him.
Who?
Go back to him. Intrigue. He just said he was there.
Oh, my bad. Intrigue, what up?
Cause I'm an island boy. I'm just trying to make it. Oh, I'm an island boy. Hey, I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy.
It ain't no other way. That's all I got. I say what I mean, do what I say. I pray my chopper bullets don't spray. If you cross, you better look both ways.
What's good? What's good?
What up? What up?
Chilling, man. Shit, I've been missing most of the show, man. I was in the barbershop and I came back out. I was just calling in, man. It was a good show. I was listening to the early parts. But the fight with Canelo fighting old boy at Cruiserweight, that ain't no fight that I'm requesting that I want to see. But normally I was one of them dudes I'd be, like man, he cherry picking, he doing this. But if he gonna give us 3 fights, and this one of his little cherry pick fights, I'm cool with it as long as he give us a Charlo or Benavidez. Either one of them fights, I'm cool with it. So, you know what I mean? But if he gonna just like cherry pick him and then do another cherry pick after you fight him, then I got a problem with him. But I got a feeling he gonna fight Charlo or Benavidez, probably Charlo, or one of them dudes at 175. Bivol better be. If he do that, I'm cool with it. But that's all I got.
All right. We got Brandon.
Yeah, no man left behind. That's I don't have a problem with this fight. It's for a title. It's a feat that's rarely been accomplished. So I don't have a problem with the fight with Makabu. I've seen Makabu fight. He is a little compact, strong guy that can punch. I'll give Canelo credit for that. I'm starting to realize, man, a lot of these fans, like Charlo fans, Andre fans, they don't hate the way Canelo moves. They envy the fact that their favorite fighter can't move that way. If Andre was able to do this type of shit, if Charlo was able to do this type of shit, they fans would be throwing it at people's faces. But the fact that they fighting nobodies, fight after fight, not even looking great fighting nobodies. Unlike Bud, at least when Bud fight nobodies, he make the nobodies look like dog shit. They wouldn't have no problem with it. So yeah, I don't mind what the Dolce and Gabbana King doing, man. He's the man. Just gotta respect it. That's my call.
All right. That had the sting. I'll tell you that. That had the sting. Jay Will in Ohio. Your official call.
You know, like I know, you should lie low. Killer, I used to get it in Ohio.
Tape of your boy.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ness, man. I've been watching more. Oh, no doubt. I've been watching more tape of your boy, man, and just this is bad, man. Like old boy Makabu, whatever his name is, man. He looks similar to Mayorga, man. Like his skill set is of Mayorga, and this is chasing greatness. Like, mate, come on, like. I mean, I don't think people. First of all, like the other host he has, like a lot of people just don't know him. But once people actually take the time to go watch him and really take him to the lab, like the dude is not. He's nowhere. He doesn't have any business being in the ring with Canelo.
He a champ.
I mean,
at a higher weight class.
To me. So to me, he's going to have a much easier time with this quote unquote cruiserweight, whatever, than he did with Plant. He's going to have a much easier, and there's a reason why he's. I mean, I wouldn't classify this as a cherry pick normally, but after looking at the guy, I mean, it's going to be almost a walk in the park. And there's a reason why he's skipping over 175. He's not fighting a better BF. He's not fighting the Bivens because, you know, there are more talented than this guy. And we have to call it. It's a cherry pick, unfortunately, man. It's a clever way to dress it up to the people like, yeah, I'm chasing greatness because the guy is bigger than me. But no,
I can't with the Canelo blasphemy.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Where all these motherfuckers is gonna call in and say, I'm picking Demetrius to do the same shit. Charlo could do this. Earl could do this. Show me Tank do this, man. Come on, man. Oh, this is a cherry pick. Otherwise, any other time it wouldn't be a cherry pick, but this is a cherry pick. So why ain't nobody else cherry picking greatness? Let me ask you a question. So now, if it's that easy to be great, why don't everybody do it? It's that easy. First it was Kovalev was old. Oh, Kovalev old, he washed up. So he did that. Then when he undisputed, man, that division wasn't shit anyway. He was on a Euro tour. Now he going to Cruiserweight. He picked the smallest motherfucker in the division with the worst skills. Yo, you dudes are the worst I've ever seen, bro. It's insane to me. It's not even insane. It's sad. You guys are sad. You guys are really, really, really sad. That's what that is. Sad. Jeez. Let me, King Born.
When you see old dirty bastard form a position like that, then you know that I'm getting ready to bust your.
Hey,
Yo.
Listen, I love my TBV comrades. I love my TBV live chat comrades. Let's get to it. Listen, y'all, I'm on my criminal mind shit. Let me tell y'all something about Bud. He's a serial killer. He's Richard Ramirez. He's Ted Bundy. He's goddamn son of Sam. The reason why he's a serial killer, because a serial killer always, all the time, set traps. He's a stalker. He stalks his victims. Porter might be a victim, and Bud is also an assassin. And everybody know a professional killer, an assassin, they gotta shoot the gun with the right hand, and they gotta shoot the gun with the left hand. And that's gonna be the difference, y'all. This shit gonna be wild, shit gonna be crazy. Hype the goddamn fight up, and tomorrow next, y'all gonna hear my Malcolm X Ghostface Killer assessment of this fight.
Cut it.
Supermax Super Chat. This fight will be remnants of De La Hoya Corte. We got Alex Vega with another one, but before we go to Alex, we got...
I said that, where the A side? Where the A side?
Red belt, black belt. It's Baltimore, just
all right, that was a mistake, obviously. Stainless, what up?
Who up there with you, Adrian?
Yeah, Adrian up here.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Thanks for another show. I'm not really familiar with the cruiserweight division. I'm sorry I had to step outside, man. I'm not real familiar.
You there? Hello.
Yo, you got me? You still there?
Yeah, we here.
Yeah, you better now.
Sorry, my Bluetooth kept switching over. He's still a champion, though, right? The dude in the cruiserweight, because I don't really follow cruiserweight like that.
Absolutely.
Then it's not a cherry pick, man. I'm not the biggest Canelo fan. I am a fan of boxing, and that's a hell of a step up, man. When Roy did that, when he went from what was that, super light heavyweight to heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody knock it then, so I'm not gonna knock Canelo. Nah, it's not the fight that I want to see him have. You know what I'm saying? As a boxing fan, I'd rather see him defend that 168 or even go up to 175 and fight some of the champions there. But if that's what he chooses to do, hell, my man just became undisputed at 168. So give him his fucking flowers, even if they ain't the flowers you want. Got to get back to work, though. As I always say, please make sure you push the thumbs up. Share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast. This is TBV for life. And if you ain't on Patreon, that's because you're stupid. Shout out to BRT. Peace. Hey, yo, what's up with Skype, man? There's too many people on there?
Yeah. Y'all be letting the whole world back there.
Yo, well, my back card, brothers. I'll get with y'all after the show.
All right. I got a super chat from Alex Vega. Alex Vega that says, if you're upset about this Canelo matchup, DM all these boxing managers and promoters your sorrows and stop putting crying about King Nello. You gotta know what you meant. But, I mean, I got you. He came right back with another one who says, This is a challenge against this opponent that none of us want to see. But it's a chance to add another layer to Canelo's greatness. Very true, my friend. Very, very true. And then he has another one that says, Canelo's resume over your favorite fighter's resume combined. Oh, damn. Canelo's resume over your favorite 3 fighters' resume combined. Shout out to you. And here you go for the bell. For 3 in a row. And we got up next, looks like, what's his name? Oh, my God. Line 6. I know that number by heart. What is up?
It don't matter who it is. If I get anybody hurt, they getting out of here. They not getting out that round or that fight.
Because I know for a fact that Boots could beat Crawford. I know for a fact that Boots could beat Spin. I know for a fact that Boots could beat Ugas, Pacquiao.
In your opinion, who is the best fighter at 147?
Me.
Everything Roy did, Boots do it better. Everything Mayweather did, he do it better.
SDS Promotions.
Lines.
Why do you all... Hey, Nash, check this out, man. How come you always moving the goalposts, man? Like, you sit here and will say Boots ain't fought nobody, but then you'll sit there and show Tank love, and he ain't even beat the best guys in the division he came up through. I'm not even going to get on Canelo, because fact of the matter is, yeah, he went up and undefeated, but he had unfinished business at 154, 160, and 168. He still has unfinished business, and he's going to completely jump over Bivol on those guys. Only thing I'm saying is, if you're going to give these guys passes, then you should be giving Boots a pass. But, because at the end of the day, you know just as well as I know, Boots is the best person to ever touch a pair of boxing gloves. And see, I was done calling in talking about Boots because I thought I had made my point, but then today you just reminded me that you just want to sit here and not give Boots his just due. Hey, have a good day, and that's my call.
And this is what I'm saying. This is what we deal with. We deal with people whose favorite fighter, has obviously achieved 10 times less than Canelo, but they criticize and ridicule Canelo. How can you say that a fighter is completely skipping over Bivol and Beterbiev and all those guys? My man started at 140. No one has a claim to Canelo. The only 2 people who should be really feeling bad is the Charlos. They were at 54 with him. You know what I mean? Other than that, no one has a claim to Canelo. He doesn't belong to any division. He's been growing and obviously doing big boy shit. I want to see these other guys. But real quick, Patrice, shout out for becoming a member to the prospect level on YouTube memberships. We appreciate you. Got to go out to Anonymous. I don't know who you are, but I know I got a new pound for pound. And Danny, is this you?
Nah, this is Bo. What's up?
Bo, your number's blocked. That's why we didn't know. But what's up?
Man, let me just say this, man. I understand the money got you capping right now because I give Canelo props for beating Caleb Plant, man. But he did avoid Andre at 154 and 160, which he could have fought undisputed at 160, and then went the 168 route. Now, I understand y'all said why these guys like Andre and Charlo not fighting. Like Andre isn't trying to fight other fighters. A lot of these guys don't want to fight him. A lot of these other guys don't want to fight each other. So you can't put everybody in that category. The reason why Canelo can move the way he can move is because he got the money. Now, if you asking these other guys to move the same way, if they have the marketing and the money backing them up, maybe they can move up and down and do all that. That's all I got.
I hear you, man, but I got an old soundbite. Song's outdated, but it fits you and everyone else perfectly. Let me get to that in 1 segundo. Where are you? Come on, man. It's pretty outdated. Where are you? Oh no, don't tell me this. Oh, there we go. Let's turn it up too. Adjust the audio and action. Timberlake, Cry Me a River. Listen, those men are with Al Heyman. Al Heyman, okay, gave us Mayweather. Al Heyman is responsible for dozens, or if not hundreds, of huge fights in boxing. The money is behind them. The problem is no one's investing because they're not good enough. Okay? When they show greatness, they'll get behind them the way that Mayweather got behind Tank. Right? What did he do? Tank was complaining about purses. Mayweather put him to the test. So much so that Tank felt he was being, and I quote, set up. I'm using 90 seconds. I'm using air quotes. He was feeling set up because Mayweather put him in the Pedraza fight and he was the underdog, but he was the one asking for money. What did he do? He rose to the occasion. Mayweather opened his eyes, and now a star is born. It's not anyone's fault but your own. You have to show the promoter that you're worth the investment. Gennady showed his promoter he was worth the investment. K2 Promotions became K2 60 seconds because of Gennady. Nobody wasn't thinking about that outside of Klitschko. But James Valdez, San Antonio. Oh, shit. Am I wrong? James? Valdez? Oscar? Valdez? Juan Pablo? Valdez?
Hello?
Yo, what up, champ?
It's me?
Yeah, ain't this James?
No, you call me Valdez.
Wait, let me look at the number.
You said James Valdez.
Oh, this is Oscar. Shit. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all good, man. I'm glad to see you back on the Man Fan side.
10
Love
seconds.
That.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
he's doing something great, right? He's not asking for a one-way rematch and crying, right? He's actually trying to do something great, so I'm on his side.
Hey, but how you say he's playing chess? Hey, my man is moving his king around. These guys don't even want to move their knights. How you like that? You know what I mean? My man is moving his king around. You know what I mean? And tell Boost to fight Andre. You know what I mean? They can't both fight no fights, so they should fight each other.
Beautiful.
Right? That would
you
be
so
beautiful,
great.
Right? And
you so great. You so special.
I love it, man.
Make your own lane. I
Yeah,
love it
exactly.
too. I love it too.
And I love that he moved up and not gave Charlo the chance because, at this point, I think little Charlo deserves it more than big Charlo.
Oh,
That's
shit,
what I
yo.
think. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute, yo. You must be like me and shit. I think little Charlo deserve it too.
Oh, bro, I called Little Charlo the best Charlo of both of them a long time ago. They're like, nah, it's Big Charlo. I'm like, nah, Little Charlo's way better. I was like, even with the loss.
You really know your boxing because Little Charlo said he was way better than Big Charlo.
Yup, I said it a long time ago, man, because he puts himself in these positions where he's able to lose. Charlo's been fighting. I mean, you said his 160 resume is trash.
Listen,
but that's my call, man.
Can't deny that you're telling the truth, man. We got
Troy,
background noise, Troy.
That's right, man. I'm working.
What up, champ?
Amazing how. Yeah, good morning. Amazing how all of this stemmed from a man who moved up in weight. They say he's cherry picking.
Exactly.
It's not cherry picking. He's building. He's always building towards his own greatness. And for let's see CYP know. Roy Jones went through the same thing when he moved up in heavyweight. They said he was cherry picking because he picked the worst of the worst. The guy that he picked was never a good fighter, never viewed as a good fighter. Everybody wanted him to fight Lennox Lewis. Roy Jones clearly stated, why would I fight him when he's too big for me? That's what he said out his own.
Call you history,
okay,
man.
so this is just history playing itself back over. And I fault Canelo for nothing. Because if you're sitting around waiting on him to give you your career, that is your ignorance. That is your ignorance, and that's your lack of ambition. Okay? Y'all have a good day.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yo, I never agree with this dude, but that was beautiful. That's what it is, bro. Lack of ambition. Oh, my God.
All right, Ness. I'm up out of here, man. I got some things to do, man.
I love you anyway.
It was great rocking out.
Let's go.
With the callers, with everybody. All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Jay Will, do I owe you a counter punch and snap like
This
that?
don't work, man.
Jay Wills, I owe you one? Jay Wills, I owe you one?
Yeah, man.
Jay Wills,
Yeah, man.
go for it.
Yeah, man. How you gonna let that man who just called loud here talking about Lennox Lewis asked him was supposed to fight Roy? How you let him lie like that?
What you mean?
Man, you know, Lennox Lewis was. They was never talked about fighting Roy. It was talking about his dad didn't want him to fight Evander Holyfield.
Nah, but Roy was supposed to fight Tyson in his prime, never fought him, and y'all gave him a pass though. Remember? So it's the same shit. It's the same shit.
But before you get me sidetracked, man. But old dude, I stole my thunder again, man. The reason why you asked why doesn't people go up and fight Mayamba and all the other stuff and go get other belts? A lot of these dudes don't got the money to go buy these other belts. Your counter to that was
Al Heyman ain't the man. I thought he was the man. Last I checked, he was the man on these streets.
Come on,
Yeah,
but the fighter has to garner a certain amount of money at the gate. So for instance,
so basically, you saying that them fighters ain't shit, or they
don't make as much money as Canelo, as I stated. Yeah, they don't make as much money as Canelo,
or they don't bring shit to the table, so we ain't investing in them. That's what we saying. The same thing. You just trying to sweeten it up and make it sound nice, but it ain't. It's the same shit. You don't bring nothing to the table. I ain't investing in you. I ain't investing in you. You got to bring something to the table, man. Majimbe, de lo mío, almost did forget you, champ. You know how it gets thick on these Canelo streets, bro. That's why I like being on the other side, attacking Canelo. Because defending him, it's too many of y'all, bro. It's way too many of y'all. Like, hating for no fucking reason. Meanwhile, your favorite fighter got the worst resume in history, bro. Actually, Majimbe, I know you boomerang, but line 6 cut you with that counter punch, man. You know that's how it works, man.
Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it.
Line 6, what up?
Hey, Ness, hold on, man. See, this, I get off and you say something crazy about our favorite fighters. I'm not going to be like them other throat hustlers that get on here trying to agree with you about Canelo. We talking about Boots right now. We ain't talking about Canelo. We talking about Boots. First and foremost, yes, hold on, don't make me laugh because I'm being passionate right now. First and foremost, you can't put these guys in the same category as Boots. He's better than all of them in every statistical category possible. Even Cameron Duncan came on yesterday and preached the gospel. He's not the only person that said this about Boots. So let's stop sitting here acting like Canelo is doing something special. He ain't doing nothing special. Boots is doing special things. That's my call.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Rock-a-blah, baby.
Stop. Listen, I'm just gonna ask you, since you think he great, I'm not gonna put anybody else in the Canelo standard, because I know they can't attain that. They can't get in the Super Saiyan. They can't do that. They don't got Bruce Leroy, I got the glow. They don't got the glow. So I'm not going to put anybody in Canelo category. So all I'm going to do is ask Boots to move up one division. Tell him challenge Jermell Charlo right now. Tell him challenge Tony Harrison right now. Tell him challenge Jason Rosario right now. Say, yo, like Thurman, right? Floyd was ducking and dodging, playing them little, you ain't nobody games. So what did Thurman do? One of my favorite fighters? Because all my favorite fighters real. All y'all favorite fighters, no fucking frills, okay? Thurman went up to 54, beat the shit out of Quintana. Tell your favorite fighter, yo, listen, favorite fighter, they blocking us down here. There ain't no love for us. Let's show them how great we really are. Let's do the same thing Muhammad Ali said. I'm going to show you how great I am. He didn't say I'm going to wait around and sit on my fucking hands. Tell your favorite fighter to do something. Have Boots move up to 54 and fight anybody relevant. Okay? Don't just give me some irrelevant. And I'm giving him a pass by offering him Tony Harrison. We all know Harrison got a weak chin and he ain't got the best stamina, but he do got boxing skill, so we'll give him that. He did become a world champ. I'm giving you a pass, okay? For the Charlo fan now, not Jermell. He's excluded from conversation. Jamal Charlo fans, tell him move up one division. We only want you to fight Benavidez. It's 8 pounds, champ. 8 pounds. I'm not asking you to split the fucking sea. I'm not asking you to climb Mount Everest. Just one division. 8 pounds so you can have a super fight. I'm not even trying to get you beat. That's legit a super fight. It's legit what Mayweather said. Green print. African American, Mexican. Pick a holiday. Let's do it in Little Mexico, in Dallas, Texas, San Antonio, wherever you want to get it done. I'm giving you a possible trilogy. Look at Wilder. He's cemented one of the biggest punches in history and an epic trilogy in the heavyweight division. End of story. He don't got to fight again. What have you done? What have you done? Oh, Jason Quigley. You right, Jason Quigley. Line 6, what up?
Hey, hold on, Ness, man. Boots ain't got to chase greatness. He already great. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Tell him to move up. Unlike you, unlike Canelo, want to pick and choose and jump in, and don't even let me get started about that midget Tank. He ain't fought nobody in his business division. Who Mario Barrios? If Mario Barrios in there with Bud or anybody else, they'd be like, oh, he was nobody. But since Tank did, stop with the cap, Ness. You know better than that. And like I told you before, if Boots doesn't fight nothing but cans for the rest of his career, his legacy is solidified. First ballot Hall of Famer, guaranteed. You've never seen nothing like that. You want to sit here and preach all this Canelo propaganda? Do something. Invest in the right type of stock. Invest in Apple. Boots is Apple. Make your money. Shib, Bitcoin, all of that. Boots is that, all of that in one. Come on, Ness. Vibe with me here, man. I thought I got somewhere with you, man. But you going back down the rabbit hole you don't need to go down.
Cause I'm an island boy. I'm just trying to make it. Oh, I'm an island boy. Hey, I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just
island boy.
I'm a just
Yo, and I played that because they're delusional. They think that's music. You think that's greatness or legacy cemented. So the delusional sound bites for the delusional people, man. Go cement your legacy. This is the problem. It starts with the fans. We're so delusional that we lie to our favorite fighter So then they believe this bullshit and they think they don't got to do nothing. So they sit on their hands waiting. Nah, man, not me. Jaguar Paul says, Big Nello, gorilla emoji, in a dashiki will be epic. And he put the crown emoji. Let's go, Jaguar Paul. We got Ayo Biz. And okay. He says, where are we? He says the first one is, where's that one at? Oh, there it goes. Back to back. Sorry. I like to screen share. He says, Pride of Jalisco. And he put 3 Mexico flags. And he put Canelo. And then we got Fred Robinson. And he says, you guys really co-signing nonsense. Wait, I wish you had to give us some context. Who you talking to? Because if you going to come for me, you better say it's me. Fuck that. AMG, what up?
Yo, what's up, Ness? Great show, man.
What up?
Yeah, dude. So, a lot of these fighters, like Charlo, Boo Boo, you know how you always say, like, you got to play chess, right? Not checkers. These motherfuckers don't even know how to play checkers. We can't ask them to play chess. Canelo's playing fucking futuristic chess. Because 20, 30 years down the line, what matters more? Beating Benavidez with no title or getting that 5th fucking world title in a different division? When all these fools are long gone, that accolade stays there. And that's what Canelo wants to do. It's fucking obvious. And I like that. Hey, Boots, go up, fight Andre, go up, fight Jermell. Make some moves. People need to wake up. These fighters there is a fight there if you want to get it. Imagine where Charlo would be now, Big Charlo, if he had Jacobs in his resume, if he had Boo Boo in his resume, Benavidez in his resume, he'd be a badass motherfucker right now. But what does he do? Fight Montiel and look shitty doing it.
Well, all right, brother. AMG, thank you for calling in. We going out to
BoxingWords.com.
Oloki, you are next, my friend. Por eso lo vuelvo a repetir. La era del Canelo es la mejor porque peleó con los mejores. La suerte es para los mediocres, my friend.
BoxingWords.com.
Yo, what up, Ness?
What up?
Yo, so how do you go up 2 weight classes and fight a champion, and that's cherry picking, but if you beat a guy coming up a weight class, that's not cherry picking. That doesn't make any sense to me. But you know what, man? I think this is an interesting fight. For the fact is, I'm a firm believer in weight classes matter, man. This guy's got, I think, 35, 25 TKOs or KOs. Could be something interesting, man. You know, the power's only going to carry so much. Your chin can only take so much. I don't think that Canelo would lose this fight, but it could be, like I said, De La Hoya Corte, where they both kind of hit the deck. And, you know, Canelo's got a big beat. You know, it's these guys aren't, this isn't a video game. You know, these guys are only so big. I think it's competitive, man, and I do think he'll settle in probably at 75. Maybe 1 or 2 more times at 68, but I don't see too much more of that, man. But that's my call, man.
You the man, champ. You the man. If you on Blog Talk and you feel like we ain't get to you, it's because you ain't pressed the numero uno. That is the button to let us know that you want to rock out, though. And in the meantime, I'm going to my Jimbe de lo mío que lo que I apologize. You know, I could get sidetracked, but I know that.
Are you with me?
But you are. You are. No?
Of course, brother.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yo, here's the thing, right? So everybody knew that it was going to be an easy fight next, right? Everybody was fine. They were talking about Darrell, Triple G3, and everybody was okay with it. But now he decides to move up again, and they're saying that he's cherry picking. Bro, he's going back down. This is exactly what he did with Kovalev. Went up, then came back down. Now, while this happens, tell these guys to do something. How is it that Canelo still has the best resume at 160? Still has the best resume at 160. These guys aren't doing anything. They have I don't know. And people saying that they don't have money. No, they do have the money. They are with the money team. So I don't know, brother. I don't know what else. I understand that if they lose a big payday. But where's the greatness at?
They scared to be great, man. They scared to lose the payday. It's career changing, man. Like, think about it. Who was it that didn't get the shot? Fuck, man. Can't remember. Oh, Dervinchenko. But that was only 5. He ended up getting that for Gennady. He got lucky. 5.5 to be exact. We got Aobiz who says, Charlo fight Benavidez, GGG fight Andre, Bivol unify with Beterbiev. Stop begging Daddy Canelo for a payday. Where's my soundbite, man? I gotta put that on every page.
Payday. You want payday.
I know that. And you know what, Majimbe, your call is not gonna go underrated. He's right. Few days ago, everybody was okay with Canelo getting a tune-up because he just did Undisputed. Meanwhile, Josh Taylor's fighting Jack Catterall after Undisputing. He ain't moving up 32 pounds. Huh? Make it make sense. Huh? Yo, you dudes are haters, bro. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how bad they want this man to lose. Let's see here. We got H Money. What is up? Where is that? I just added you.
It's money to shit. Working that wrist. Ballin' like Swiss. Diamonds wet like a fish. Pull up with them sticks. Come fuck with the clique. We fucked on your bitch. She sucking the dick.
What's going on? It's your boy H Money, Mr. The Zone. We in the building. Yo, Ness, man. November 27th, it's return of the takeover. Teofimo Lopez, the undisputed lightweight champion. Teofimo Lopez, he coming after Devin Haney. And I promise you this, Ness. Teofimo Lopez, he's going to knock out Devin Haney, bro. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney don't want no smoke with the takeover. Bill Haney is a capper. Let's make the fight happen. What's up with that petition, Bill Haney? Let's go. Let's do it next. Teofimo Lopez, the #1 lightweight in the world. He beat Vasily Lomachenko, #1 pound for pound. We looking for Devin Haney. Bill Haney, let's make it happen next. Teofimo Lopez, he's going to knock out Devin Haney. I promise you that. I promise you.
Well, all right. I do believe that fight will be next if Tio somehow can stay on that side. But line 6, apologies.
Hey, that's number 3, Ness. First off, man, to that last caller, only type of emotion you should be putting in the fire like that is on boost. So next time you call, show the type of passion about boost. My next point, I kind of forgot it, Ness, because y'all went down Swift soliloquy, but you know just as well as I know, Boots is that guy. Like, what more do you need to see? Like you say, Canelo make fighters that we think he should beat, make him look like bums. Boots is doing the same thing, and you ain't saying he's great. So, I mean, let's not stop moving the goalposts for Boots, Ness. We're talking about Boots right now. Seriously, we are talking about Boots right now. Stop playing with me, Ness. I got time today, bro. Charlie bit me. Have a good day.
Alrighty then. Moving to Davidian, Buffalo Falls. Davidian.
Yo, what's good, Ness?
What up?
What up? I mean, when I seen the news yesterday, I was like, look at this guy. But you know, I mean, it's not the person I want to see him fight, but shit, I'll watch it. But I just hope he gives Charlo or Benavidez will fight, because that's the fights I want to see. So, but I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. Yeah, great show. God bless.
All right. Canelo, when asked, who's Makabu?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Canelo, when asked, do he care that the public is, does he care what the public thinks? No. We're doing what Canelo wants to do because that's greatness. It's not Jack Catterall after undisputing, It's not that. It's not that. You know what else it isn't? Oh, actually, I can't even say it's not Kambosos, because guess who's the champion? Devin Haney. Guess who's not undisputed? Teofimo. So, there you go. But we got Izzy, who says, hater rate. Who's buying this? Not this dude. I will. And I'm hoping it's on DAZN. Like, I hope all Canelo fights are on DAZN, because it's $8.83 if you do like I did and pay for the year. And hey, guess what? If you want to pay for the year, link in the description. Use my link. Tell me what you think. And just know that it means you're helping your favorite podcast. Yes, you are. We're going to Chris Carlson, who says, now Floyd didn't show us his greatness. Yeah, his greatness came in the form of remaining undefeated. That is a very difficult task to do. His greatness came in the form of showing fantastic defense, the art of the sweet science and hit and not be hit. Everyone's greatness is different. You don't necessarily have to compare it. He's great for different reasons, and Canelo's showing his greatness even after losing. DSV and Company. Nello, the new Duran. I thought that was Rolly. I thought Rolly was this generation's Duran, dog. Yo, you better check in with Rolly on that one, man. I don't know. Rider of the Storm says, I'm a Canelo fan, but I dislike this news. Wait, I'm a Canelo fan, but I dislike that this news has taken away from the Bud versus Porter fight. I guess it shows everyone who the cash cow and pound for pound number one is. Yeah, I led with that with the show. Like, I didn't think anything. I didn't foresee anything robbing the thunder from them. And this definitely is a steal without a doubt. We got KO 4 Miles says he giving you 5 bouts in 18 months. Others need to fight. He's absolutely right. Mr. PBC, your call is up. Get your mic in order. Are you available?
Mr. PBC, baby.
BoxingWords.com.
I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believes he can win. Go to my kitchen. Get the sharpest knife and cut the bullshit out. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great. Mr. PBC, baby.
Yo, what's good? I hear a lot of people calling in saying Bivol needs to do this, Bivol needs to do that. Bivol's already cleaning up the division in 175. He just got better beef left. Better B's about to fight some dude named John Brown or Marcus Brown. And I think that's going to be an easy fight. And then Bivol fights John Ryder next and makes the big fight. I think he just needs to keep on doing what he needs to do. Makabu, I watched a fight between him and I think it was Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew was giving that work. I'm talking about work. We'll see. I mean, I think it'll be a good fight. I'm not going to hate on it. I'm going to bet on both. Preferably more money on Canelo. But once he goes down, he needs to fight Bivol. He's the best. He's obviously fighting the best to be the best. Charlo and everybody else, I believe they need to mix it up. Andrade needs to mix it up. Maybe switch. Get on different platforms or something. Try to mix it up.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is Bivol again? Roland Curtis with the fat 20 dub. Yo, also, shout out to Protege, a.k.a. Huang, who fought in Border Wars. He also sent that 20 dub. Roland Curtis says, Mayweather's 50-0 still looks more impressive than Canelo's 57-1-2. Canelo has 2 blemishes, the loss to Floyd, and he popped for clenbuterol. Floyd's record, no losses, never popped for PDs. Can Canelo ever really surpass Floyd? I think that maybe you're just a hater, and that's why you want to bring Floyd into this conversation and compare the two. But in actuality, there is no need to compare them. Like I said, one man's greatness is his greatness. He attained it the way that he attained it. Just like, Crawford, his legacy is multiple division, unified champ, undisputed champ, and he's building off that. His legacy is started now with the whole, unifying, right? So, there's that. But you don't have to compare. You want to compare because you want to diminish. You want to diminish what he's doing. But I can do the same. I can say that Floyd never moved up as many divisions. He never moved up as high, That's very easy. I see you, Mr. PBC. Just pay for that boomerang upgrade. Let's get ahead and shout out my boy. I'm saying, showing that support on patreon.com/theboxingvoice. Shout out to this community. What up, PBC? You want that boomerang now or later? Like the candy.
Man, I can't believe it. Today is the day that me and H Money agree.
Oh, shit.
Devin Haney, let's get it. Devin Haney will get sparked out. I got JoJo. He got more dog. Come on, man. And we all know who Bivol is. Stop acting that seriously. If you know who Boots is, you damn sure know who Bivol is. Let's keep it real. He's been wanting the fights. Zerdo was going to make a fight, but then made the fight the next day with someone else. Zerdo has 42 fights with only 2 names. Let's go. Bivol destroys everybody, and he's fighting the best. He has a skill set to beat the best. And that's my call, man. Can't wait to see Devin Haney lose. I got money on JoJo.
Mr. Calderon says, David lost to partying and tacos. #undisciplined. Sway in Brooklyn says, Canelo versus Usyk at heavyweight 2023. Hey, remember, if that happens, Sway, I said that first. I said he would beat Usyk. After watching Usyk beat AJ, obviously, I don't believe that anymore. But if he goes out there and sparks Makabu, maybe I'll start changing my mind yet again. Ozzy says, this is... Oh, no, I think we said that. Sorry, Ozzy. You got another one, though, right? Right? No, yes, you do. And where is it? Up or down? Here it goes. You got another one that says, for that one caller saying Canelo is too big at 5'8", bruh, I'm 5'7", and sometimes I have to buy clothes in the kids section. So fuck out of here with the laughing out loud emoji. Shout out to Ozzy. Back at Sway in Brooklyn, who says Tank goes to UK and beats Taylor. What will people say? No, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm going to show this one more time because, that ain't an easy fight. That ain't an easy fight. I thought Tank could beat him. Tank thinks he could beat him. Bruh, this looks crazy. Look at this meetup between Crawford and look at Josh Taylor. He's huge, bro. This dude is huge on the huge level. Look at how big he is right here. What is this? This is a new post. Here they go. Look at this. What the fuck? Bro, his shoulders is at Crawford's chin. And look at the size of his shoulder. He's huge. He's huge. Mind you, check out the caption. From a former undisputed champ to a current former belt holder. 2 kings cross paths during fight week. Wait, this is a new post. There's another post somewhere on their top ranked page where they say, will we ever get this fight or some shit like that? Where is it? They must have posted this twice? What the fuck? That's strange. Did they change it? Hey, whatever. Point is, it was there. They changed it. Doesn't matter. It's on the live show. You seen it when I first screen shared it. This is weird. Very weird. But look how big. He's still huge. Mega huge. Look at that. Lord. I mean, height don't win fights. We know that. We learned that. We know that. We know that, but he's still huge. 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 And he's already gone up one division at a time. So, him going up the fight, I mean, Josh Taylor isn't like, that ain't the fight. Josh Taylor moving up is him challenging himself. You know what I'm saying? But we got the best dad ever that says, oh, we read that one. Obviously, I don't know how that got in the front. Yeah, we did read that, best dad. So next up is Young Prophet. See, counterpunch from line 6. Go for it.
Are you with give this counterpunch to J Mac, Ness. Give it to J Mac.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So I'll play this for you then.
Tienen miedo. Eso es miedo. Yo no tengo nada que decir. Solamente como lo voy a decir en español para que todos se me entiendan porque es puro mexicano. Que chingue a su madre.
It's fear. That's why you gave your counterpunch away. J-Mac, what up? J-Mac, what up?
Cause I'm an island boy.
Yo.
Just trying to make it.
What up?
See, now I'm coming for you. See, you sit on this show and smoke your crack pipe and talk this foolery you talk all day and just sit on here. Can you please tell me how Boots is going to get a fight with Jamel Charlo when, El Heyman just don't put the money up behind these guys like that? You can look at their purses. And since you're so business educated and swag and know so much about the business side of it, that ain't make business sense for them to put that fight up. And where the money at behind Boots or Jamel to even put a fight like together? So, they don't have the type of money behind them. Canelo has always been with Golden Boy. Golden Boy has always put their money behind Canelo. Canelo has always been in a position where he could jump, duck, make up a weight class at 155, fail a drug test, don't really get suspended, but don't take the credit for it and actually say and come up with a badass excuse and do what he did in boxing. That's why a lot of people go at Canelo and cheat now.
Why the fuck you lying?
Why you always lying? My man came up in the poorest country, one of the poorest countries in the world, but he somehow says that Canelo always had the money behind him. He had to turn pro at 16 to make money. Somehow he always had the money behind him. Hilarious, the lack of knowledge in the boxing community. Yeah, man. Okay, I don't even know because I talk so much. I don't even know if I said Boots should fight at Charlo. But what about Andre then? That's even simpler, right? He's not with PBC, so he don't got to sign. Very simple. Who's that? Who's this? Is that CYP right after Young Profeta? Bridgerweight doesn't sound so far-fetched anymore. Could he go up to heavyweight? No, every day I sound more and more like an oracle. I said 2 years ago he'd beat Beterbiev. Now he's a part of the conversation. I've been saying he'd beat Usyk. Now he's possibly fighting at heavyweight. It's crazy. It's crazy how boxing works, man. Meanwhile, these other guys are still in their same division. CYP counterpunch to save the day for the back callers.
Yeah. Give me my counterpunch in my regular call, and if I go over, ain't nothing to a thing. Just charge me. I got some shit to say. What's my man? Troy. Ruiz was at the bottom of the bottom. That's what he said. Ruiz is at the bottom of the bottom. Is this the same John Ruiz who fought Evander Holyfield 3 times, then went on to beat Hakeem Rahman, Andrew Galata? Is that the same guy in that same 2-year span? In the middle of that, lost to Roy Jones. In the middle, lost to Roy Jones, and then beat Hakeem Rahman next. Beat Evander Holyfield. Beat Evander Holyfield. Lost to Roy. Beat Hakeem Rahman. That dude was at the bottom of the bottom. Do y'all realize that Evander Holyfield fought? And these are the fights. Lennox Lewis. John Ruiz. Do y'all realize that those are the 5 fights that he fought in that span? But John Ruiz was at the bottom of the bottom. Evander Holyfield beat Michael Moore for that belt. And when he lost to Holyfield, to Lennox Lewis, he vacated the belt. And he got stripped. He got stripped of the WBC. And the 2 people to fight for were Evander Holyfield and John Ruiz. The guy at the bottom of the bottom. So make some sense when you disrespect a fighter. Know who you talking about. Look up his resume to see if he was at the bottom of the bottom. Ain't no way in hell a dude at the bottom of the bottom is going to have wins against Hakeem Rahman, James Toney, Andrew Galata, and Evander Holyfield.
Impossible. And then you say, well, David too. Well, what about beating Rahman don't mean nothing? Well, Rahman had just beat David Tua right before he lost to John Ruiz. All those dudes I named were at the top of the top in heavyweight division. My man, know what the hell you talking about? John Ruiz was at the top of the top. He just was not Lennox Lewis or Mike Tyson. Everybody who wasn't them two is not a bum. Get that shit right before you try to check CYP. I never talk about anything that I did not study before I talk. I'm not like y'all. I'm not lazy. Let's move on. We still gonna cook. Brandon, I heard that bullshit you said. The Charlo fans and the Tank fans, see, they mad because they fighters can't do it. Because they fighters out here stealing car stereos. Nah, homie. What we gonna do is we gonna address that back there. Because we all know, you got that shit, didn't you? You got that shit. So what we all gonna do, we're gonna address that back there. Because we all know, and we said this many times, if you have a country behind you, like a Pacquiao, like a Canelo, there are certain things you can do, certain backings you can get. American fighters don't always seem to have that, man. We have a lot of things going on in America. We have a lot of sports going on in America. If you ask Filipinos who's their greatest athlete, they're going to say Manny Pacquiao. I just saw a dude with a Manny Pacquiao shirt on in the gym. The first time I've ever seen that. If you ask Mexicans about Canelo, they know about Canelo. Canelo's so big in Mexico that Mexican Americans will be singing the national anthem from Mexico while he's fighting in America. When some of y'all weren't even born in Mexico, y'all still singing the Mexican national anthem. That's how big Canelo is in Mexico. He gets you to cross over your national anthems. That's crazy. Y'all have loyalty to my man Canelo. African American fans and we don't do that because we got football, basketball, baseball. We got a whole bunch of other shit that we like to watch. And y'all keep talking about David Benavidez. Let me move. Y'all keep talking about David Benavidez. Big fight, great fight, man. Shit. I was in the back hall talking about the fight for that David Benavidez was fighting. Y'all was watching Jaime Munguia fight. They was watching Jaime Munguia fight Rosado instead of fighting Benavidez. I know it was because that's all they was talking about back there, and the two fights was going on at the same time. I'm the one who watched David Benavidez fight and Mr. Munguia fight. I'm the one who did it. So if I'm telling you David Benavidez versus Charlo is not going to be a big fight financially, I know what I'm talking about because at least I watched the motherfucker. Y'all ain't even watching fight. Y'all just talking about it after. Last thing I'm going to say. Canelo doesn't want black smoke. He wants black ashes. That's what he wants. While Tank wants all the Mexican smoke. See, that's the difference between Tank and Canelo. They both put on events. They both cherry pick. Say that. It is what it is. But one of them wants all the Mexicans. The other one doesn't. He doesn't want the blacks. So that shit is what bothers y'all. Brandon, you want to talk about bothers them? That's what bothers them. Is Tank putting on that sombrero, trying to knock the shit out of the pinatas, while Canelo trying to miss all the cookouts. Nah, man. If y'all really mad, tell Canelo go fuck Andrade up and go fuck Charlo up, so CYP can shut the hell up. And I promise you, I will on that topic. CYP out. Let me know what I owe. Oh shit. You're mistaken. Floyd is a 5 division champion. Canelo is 4. He's going for 5 at Cruiserweight. That's fact.
Yeah, he is going for 5 at Cruiser. I think he'll get 6 with the Bridger. And that is 3 plus the one that you paid her for, which only means 3. I got to go, but I'm going to try and get to everybody. I already got the wife looking at me with the evil eyes, and I'm past the opponent by 9 minutes already. LV Slugger, I gotta skip the intro. Shout out to SDS. Let's go. LV, you killing me. All right. Lids low. All right. LV, go for it. You straight.
Yo. Yeah, I can't even knock it, man. Like I said before, Canelo done fought undisputed in less than a year. And now he going up and trying to get another belt. I really can't even knock him, so I ain't got too much on that. But on the Charlo tip, I got some. I know a lot of people telling me jump weight and shit. Like I'm gonna say something realistic that he can probably do to get some buzz to that Canelo fight. We know Lard just won that regular WBA at 160, so they both PBC. It's a common opponent with Canelo. They can probably get a little baby a little fake little unification going on over there. And see if he can, beat him better than Canelo did or Hurd did. And get his name buzzing, you know what I'm saying? So we know he's not gonna be able to get no unifications, or he's not trying. So I'm just trying to speak realistic, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I got on that.
Yo, hilarious! You see how sad it is to be a fan of everyone else that's not Canelo. Like, think about it. When Canelo beat Rocky Fielding, he was cherry picking. Now this guy wants him to have a quote unquote fake unification with the same WBA regular. I mean, I love it, man. I'm telling you that everything changes when it's your favorite fighter, and I love to be the one to call you on the bullshit. N.O., what up? N.O. in New Orleans. We on the time here.
Drive by.
Cutting intros.
Whoa. What's good? How my audio sound?
Straight.
All right. Look, man. Canelo, bruh. This shit starting to look like a circus nest, bro. I'll give him all the credit. He the number one pound for pound fighter. I just want to see the fights I want to see, Ness. You know what I mean? And you got, Ness, you want to see that fight for real. Now, I ain't talking about going to Africa. Do you want to see that fight, wherever it is?
Yeah. I want to see, can he really do it?
Oh, man,
I want to see, can he really? It's a cruiserweight, champ.
See that?
Listen, it's a cruiserweight. Cruiserweight.
Yeah, but the guy, man, you don't care. That's like saying that dude's name is.
Gotta go, Chip. Listen, it's a cruiserweight. Tell Charlo go fight him a cruiserweight so we could say he great. That's all I'm saying. Tell Andre do that. Let's see. They so great. Tell them do it. $1 trillion dreams. Why are we talking about Ryan Garcia? Does he even fight anymore? Ryan is a fluke, and he don't mean flute. We going to FaZe, who says, what up, TBV fam? Canelo at Cruiser. I don't give a fuck. Who else is doing this? Give me Plant versus Benavidez. I feel like Plant presents problems for David, and it's good measuring stick. Hashtag, is he really ready? Yeah, that'll be a good fight. The problem is, to get Plant right after Canelo, it won't give Benavidez the full credit because, we won't know if Plant is damaged goods like Billy Joe. Billy Joe's face is broke, and we don't know if he's coming back. You know what I'm saying? But that's another fight, even though he's ridiculous, so I'm not even going to mention Billy Joe in any real fight. He's ridiculous with the payouts. He doesn't want to really want to fight. He wanted, what he asked for, $5 million to fight Chris Eubank Jr. off a fucking loss. It's like, dog, you wilding right now. You know what I mean? Go find yourself another bed to sleep in. Or should I say ring? Nah, he didn't go to sleep. Bad Girl TKO says, not impressed with Benavidez's last performance. David would be easy work for Charlo. David would be easy work. Charlo would be difficult, but is pricing himself out. Alvarez keeps it moving. I hear you. Jaime Nieto. My wife is about to murder me. She don't understand, man. It's hard to leave when you do what you love. He says, these dudes are haters, not real boxing fans. If this was Andre Charlo, they would be bigging it up. These other dudes won't even fight each other. That's what I'm saying. Now, the fact that we're like criticizing this guy when Laura hasn't fought Andrade, Charlo, who else is out there? Gennady, Ryota Murata, Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, damn, bro. The lanes, Laura's right there. There's nothing wrong with Laura. He's at 60. Nothing wrong with him as an opponent, and you can make a name of him. It's not like he's even at the best of his best right now. But the fact that they won't even think about Laura is crazy. Meanwhile, Laura's been calling out Triple G for many, many moons. Lucid, we'll stop there, says, thoughts on Canelo's next opponent? We love it over here. Not my audience, but we love it over here. He's achieving greatness. I wish. How many divisions is this? He's at 6'8", so he's skipping again 2 more. Again, so Crawford would have to beat Jamal, Andrade, Gennady, or Ryota Murata, right, to equal this. Earl would have to do the same, right? He would have to beat someone at 60. those same names. And then if we go to Jamel, who doesn't need to be in this conversation, so we're overlooking him, Lubin would have to fight Benavidez, right? Because he would have to skip 2. So he would have to fight Benavidez, Plant. Callum left, so he's lucky there. But no one expects that to happen when he's taking the shots from Terrell Geisha, who's not a puncher, and feeling a little wobbled. You know, no disrespect to Lubin. I love him. I'm not trying to make an example out of it. It's just the truth. You know, these people can't do what Canelo is doing. They can't. It's just that simple. The quicker you get it through your head, the easier you'll digest boxing. So if Canelo goes to heavyweight and fights Usyk, is that cherry picking? Y'all dudes wild. Your favorite fighters are looking for handouts, and that was Mr. Locky. That's right. Or just Lock. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I suck at pronunciations. But the truth is, what he said, your favorite fighter's looking for fucking handouts, man. And you out here making fake lies for them. Jake Paul versus Canelo for a tune-up after Makabu. I'll take it. You know, keep forcing these dudes to fight, man. You know, what are they going to do? What is Charlo going to do now? Fight, what's my man's name? What's the dude Caleb Plant fought from the Subway commercials? What's his name? J-Mac, fine, come on back. Boomerang. What's the dude from the Subway commercial? Mike Lee. Was he going to fight him next? Where's he at? He fought one time this year. Your favorite fighter just wants a Canelo fight. He fights one time to keep his belt. Just know that that's the rules. You have to fight. Come on, J-Mac. I'm waiting on you. Anything?
Yo, okay. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, my problem with that is I do agree with you when these guys need to stop waiting on Canelo and to get a fight. But see, the problem is the callers and the fans, the casuals actually, they point out that they ain't fight nobody. But Canelo has been drifting, jumping, catch weight king from weight class to weight class. I'm thinking about the Shane Moses. I'm thinking about the Cottos. All those guys were smaller than Canelo. Canelo actually made up a weight class of 155 when he was pulling guys up. Before he fought at 155, he pulled the Shane Moses up. He pulled the Amir Khans up and all this shit. So he got a history of just doing shit like this. He jumped from here. He jumped from there. So he probably been on the dope or the meat or whatever you want to call it. What have you, because I mean the dude just does shit that's unheard of, not something I should be a fan of, something that should be called out. And then it's amazing at 154 and 160 where he got most of the competitive champions that's still around right now, and he haven't fought those guys. At 160 he actually got a belt that prevented him from fighting them guys.
Cut it. Lids low.
Drive by. Let me run this shit real quick. Shout out TBV. Shout out to Baldy. Shout out to Jago. All right, for Canelo, I ain't really got a problem with it. It's a title shot. I mean, I'm not a super fan of Canelo. I don't hate him either. So he a fighter to me. And you know, I just like boxing. 2, not everybody can jump weight classes. Yeah, Tank did it. Yeah, he did it, but not everybody can do that shit. Far as comparison, man, I kind of hate when people do the comparison thing because it really only fit to whoever really trying to comparison like this. Like y'all, you and the dude, I forgot his name, that interview you had, y'all were talking about Tank and Ryan. Why do Ryan get a fucking shot at Tank? Who the fuck is Ryan? What the fuck has he done besides go crazy and act like all these different and duck fights? Man, fuck Ryan. And then as far as Benavidez not getting this shot with Canelo, why? Because he did coke. We get that, but you vouch for Big Baby Davis, and that nigga did worse. So it's like some things we just gotta stop with the comparison. As far as Big Charlo, I don't.
Chill, champ. Cut it. Big Baby ain't pop for Joshua, and I was like, yeah, let him get a shot at Tyson Fury as a champ. Like, no, I'm saying give him a shot back at boxing, bro. I'm saying don't shut the door forever on boxing. That's all I said. You trying to switch it up, but that's all good. It's all right. Ness is out. I got Ozzy that says the only boots I know is from Dora the Explorer. Laugh out loud emoji. Line 6 says, so we gon' cat is what he meant to say. Like boots don't exist, Ness. Chill, B. You got to fight somebody. Tell him to fight Andre. Alex Vega, that's definitely number 5 or 6 or 3. So much Canelo hate, yet he's your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. He's pound for pound number 1 and the cash cow. Tell your favorite fighter to make their own way. Damn, I couldn't have been out better. That was a perfect outro. Goodbye. Catch you on the next one. Peace. Arrivederci.